out on the CT side. VP love to play this slow tempo T side where they wait for the other team to aggress. And what were G2 doing so much yesterday? malbs was straight up the guts. He was down long. He was up party. He really loves to get in their face a little bit. And some of these G2 players do like to get into the mix as well. So I wonder if G2 are going to still back themselves with that aggression against a team that just loves to hold back and wait for you to make a mistake. Regardless, though, this will be an elimination match here in IEM Chengdu. G2 versus VP to take on the winner of Lin Vision and Vitality for a spot in the playoffs.
Straight out the gates, VP setting themselves up toward Monster Tunnel. And it seems as though G2 are pretty well aware of what they're going to be up to, because Samphias has indeed gone aggressive on the top side of the map. It's not going to matter. VP, with a little bit more pace than anticipated, are going to work their way into that B bomb site and just frag out. It is only the aforementioned Samphias that survives after the original flurry of frags, and so VP should be getting underway pretty comfortably here on the T side.
And you just love to see that right off the bat, just conditioning their opponent, going against their own trends of how slow they usually play some of these rounds and just kicking it off with an up-tempo T-pistol round. Samphias, we've seen him in so many post-plant situations that felt impossible to win yesterday, and this is just another one of them. Unfortunately, things will continue in the same fashion for him today. And for VP, it's more good stuff on the T side, similar to how they started this tournament off against Vitality.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days, obviously. Not prepared to read too much into that one. Feels like a pretty good scissors, paper, rock, really, from Virtus.pro. They speed things up quickly through the Monster Tunnel.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're G2 and you're game planning against a team that's notorious for playing a slower style and has already shown the propensity to do so on this exact map, their pick in this tournament, you may not necessarily be ready for the pop play straight out Monster about 5 seconds into the round. So I'm already love VP mixing things up a little bit.
We did kind of see this a little bit from VP, though. They like to lurk a player out the Monster Tunnel. It's not so much going to be a lurk this time around. That molly into the toxic barrels might start to give the game away. A grenade going awry for Flit, so he'll just back it up. And we are back to that little probing style, I guess, more so from VP in this round, as they don't commit to the bomb site. They decide they want to explore the other side of the map.
I like that from Flit. You're just kind of like with a Mac-10 outside a Monster, trying to bait the CTs into the flash play where the riflers are just kicking back, waiting for you to peek into them. Try to break down the round from there. G2 don't bite, though. And as such, VP will slow things down. Go and take some control of long A's. Toro's still floating around inside a connect. There's still plenty of utility to complete this round for the T side. Same can't be said for G2 with their force buy, though. It's really going to have to come down to malbs and Samphias with these weaponries that can start to pick down the T side as they make their way into this execute. And it does seem very much like G2 wants to disrupt on the front side of bathrooms.
Yeah, VP can sometimes be their own worst enemy in rounds like this one, though. With less than 30 seconds, they're only now starting to really commit toward this A site. You've already got Hunter progressed forward, malbs there as well, both of them with an upgraded pistol. This will go wrong for VP, particularly given that Toro has gone down early, and you wonder, have they given themselves enough time for this take? I don't think they have. Hunter strikes from the shadows. He waited so patiently to get that kill on Perfecto, and just like that, VP running into the same old problem.
That's what malbs does best. Very clean 2K on the Deagle. Flit needs to make sure he doesn't die after time. Will barely cling to life. Frustration in the player cans from him.
Yep.
Only a Mac-10 and armor brought into the round following. And this is the double-edged sword that is Virtus.pro. When it comes together, when they clear every angle and get the bomb down just in time, it's beautiful to watch. But the other side of that is just foolish sometimes. Left looking a little bit silly.
Yeah. Reinvestment for Virtus.pro across the board, so they want to continue to try and wrestle control of this half back away from G2. But conventional wisdom would say this should be a G2 round.
Should be. Pistols have been something that Virtus.pro have had some success with already in this tournament. They do love hitting some pretty sharp timings. You saw it in the T-pistol that they opted for in this game. Flit floating around, as he often tends to do, over towards that B side of the map. Having a look out Monster, having a look out short B this round. The rest of VP, it's a contact into the bathrooms.
Flash over the top again. Hunter just having a little bit of a look into short water. He does not spot much out, so that's going to prompt some counter util on the other side of the map. G2 aware of the possibility the VP are creeping up close, and that nade molly combo has done a lot of damage. malbs, of course, to follow it up with a double. This round is looking pretty comfortable for G2 so far. It feels as though they are reading VP like a book, but Toro says, I ain't no book, I'm a magazine.
Okay, wow. I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know bro was chill like that.
That one might not have gone where it wanted. Yeah, like that was nothing impressive, but I didn't really have anywhere else to take that. Look, still, I want to see where VP take this round, because this is very doable. Toro up close and personal with the MP9. I think he might be able to get a timing here onto Mattis. Flit does go down in the meanwhile, so this will be where Toro now does have to activate.
He's going to have to. Needs the ace to get this round done, and it's a little bit of awkward movement for Mattis that throws him off a little bit. I mean, he did everything he could have done in that round, but more was demanded of him. Bro just needed a little bit of help.
Yeah, good effort for VP, especially given the circumstances that they found themselves in. It looked like it should be a clean one. It ends up being a bit more expensive for G2 than they might have liked, but still they negotiate the round, and that's really what matters in the early stages of... You can start pushing in the right direction, and they'll have obviously a full buy for themselves, whereas VP just have to go down to the pistols. So this will be where G2 will be able to start to accelerate that economy.
It's a good start for them on the CT side. VP with the pistols, looking to try to keep them honest if they can. And I think we're already starting to get the answer to, will G2 be playing aggressively on the CT side in this game of Overpass? malbs has already been a menace.
Yep. Got to play your own game. And to be fair, you know, that aspect of their game was what was working yesterday against Furia as well. It was that early round aggression that was getting them into positive situations.
And VP, I mean, they've got some promising young talent on the team, some riflers that can pop off, but like they don't have that star power and that talent across the board that you're seeing, and the form factor you're seeing from Furia. They're not going to be able to turn around these man advantages every single round. That's not something that regularly should be happening.
Now Hunter on a bit of a mission here as well. We'll take all that space on long and start to clear out bathrooms. He'll get in behind VP before they get into this site. If they're even allowed to try and walk their way forward, it seems like that's not the case. Some Pyres for 2, malbs as well for a couple. Hunter doesn't even come into play at all. Another clean round for G2. Money going to be building up nicely now, but another buy from Virtus.pro will await them. So they haven't got full control of this half just yet, but it is going in the right direction.
Going to need some level of adaptation here from Virtus.pro. It doesn't feel like anything's really been working for them. Yes, they hit a nice timing on the pistol, but in the gun rounds, this has not been a close match. Bis gets the AWP out. Sitting on the donut. Another chance for him to step up and show why he's been given a chance in the main squad. malbs is well and truly on his bullshit here. Flash in by some Pius. Looking to harass Party or maybe make his way into Connector.
Wow.
Flit. That's a meal and a half for him, down to 54.
Yeah, I don't think he's got any feet left after that one.
Oh, well, I guess the side hustle is gone at this point then.
Yeah, disappointing.
He'll have to be a hand model, I guess. But look, the Counter-Strike's going okay. You don't really need feet to play Counter-Strike. malbs, though, sometimes the way that this man plays, he makes his opponents look like they're playing with theirs. Playing the game with theirs. I just want to clarify that. Let's be very intentional about the way that we use that phrase.
Well, VP going to run into malbs here if they continue to explore long. It is at the moment just Fame alone. Again, aggression out on the other side of the map. G2, they are just completely unbridled at the moment. They're doing whatever they want, and they spot absolutely nothing outside Monster Tunnel. So malbs starting to put together the picture as to what Virtus.pro are trying to paint in this round.
It's the same timing up into this A site. The bomb is in pipes. Someone needs to get the bomb. All right, you're seeing Perfecto scramble back for that one. Back down Connector now.
This is getting a bit late.
20 seconds on the clock. Mattis Doesn't have any halting utility. Mole's finding another nice timing. Fame dancing around, barely clinging to life, just trying to buy a little bit more time for VP to get organized. 10 seconds to get it to B.
They've got to push their way through this smoke. 10 seconds. The bomb is still in short water. There's the openers. Mist and Toro do find both of the kills. They might work out this time around, but that was getting a little scary for a moment.
Every time that they make this work, it defies belief. Running the clock down right to the last second and somehow making it work. Hunter pilfering the AWP, looking to slink away and hand it over to somebody in the next round. But Perfecto is on the hunt. They need to make sure that they don't lose too many guns here, VP. They don't have the money to replace them right now.
Perfecto going to hear Hunter on his way to long. But yeah, he's miles away at this point, and the AWP favored to win a duel on an angle like this one, so Perfecto just as likely to give up his life if he does go for it. Hunter doesn't quite get the connection on the jump back.
Frag movie mode for a second there. A little bit underwhelming, maybe like a remember the name kind of feel type beat on that one. Jesus, I mean, Bist, nice 2K from him. First time he gets the AWP in his hands on that T side. Good supportive utility to set up the B pop, and then he axes the turret around pillar, as you will see your AWPers do on the T side, scaling on into the site, second or third in.
He's definitely had a couple of moments, hasn't he?
That was one of them. Nothing outstanding, just like, you know, the impact round that you needed to be able to get a 1 or 2K and basically win your team the round. Hit the shots that are required of you. Sun Pius, there you go. Kneecap onto Toro. Man is owing the mob a couple of dollars at this point, and Sun Pius is here to collect.
Sun PayPal, sending the invoice.
They're doing business on PayPal these days?
Some people do.
The mob?
Not
Probably
me.
not.
Charge you a few too many fees there, but Fame, he's missed Malbs.
Oh, yeah.
Can't see him. I think he was on his screen for a second there, but completely missing him.
The view model.
I mean, the thing is, though, Malbs has literally been in that exact position, like, this entire
I think, yeah,
so.
Jumping up onto guard, like, not even in this game. Like, in this game, he's once or twice. Like, in the previous game, you've even had a 2-stack there from G2.
Yeah.
I think, as Fame, jumping up onto the garden bed like that, you're just asking for it, to be honest.
You've got to be prepared for Malbs in that position, you know. Watch a couple of demos, and you would know that Malbs has been spending 70% of his time sitting underneath that boost.
Watch demos, you say? I don't know. That sounds hard. That sounds like something where I'll need to pay attention. And it seems like they have not studied Malbs well enough at all.
No. Yeah, he's getting away with the exact same thing he did yesterday against Furia. He is just taking this top side of the map away from VP.
I know. It's not even like getting away with it, though. That's like underselling it. Like the brilliance from this man in this event has been great to watch. Toro also hiding away in a pretty common position on the B lurk there. I mean, this Mattis, I've seen him walk into short B many a time and just die for free, and that's just another example of it.
Oh,
Thank God for Malbs, though. This guy is just too good.
He's him.
He is him. You look up him in the dictionary, that's what you'll see.
Timothy, I think his name, right?
Timothy? Yeah, I think so. Hold on, checking the profile.
Yeah, Timothy Mario Samayoa. Samayoa. I don't know how to say that name. Samayoa. Guatemalan.
I don't know if that's a traditional Guatemalan name or not, but
yeah, Timothy.
Yeah, interesting choice for his parents. BP back on the pie here. Nice couple of wins over on the B side, but outside of that, this game has all been going the way of G2. Oh, hearing the flash Fame. I mean, they're lucky to even trade that one down.
Yep.
Perfecto's done well there off of what was just another excellent opener from Malbs.
Yeah, I mean, Perfecto even taking a bit of damage there as well, so the way things were looking, it's not even that out of the realms of the possibility that Malbs might have doubled down, to be honest.
It's like he's just operating on another level. Like everyone else is just like a bystander in a world where he knows exactly where he needs to be standing and exactly what he needs to do to intuitively get the timing to just frag every time.
He's a galaxy
on a dime.
Yeah. Well, how does the rest of the round play out here for G2 without Malbs? Because looking at the rest of the forces, you know, Mattis, Hunter, both 1 and 3. Some Pius and Heavy God are essentially going 1-for-1. So this could be where VP might be able to open this up a crack.
Another monster smoke. Do have a Molotov primed and ready, but Mattis, unfortunately, a little bit of a liability in a couple of these rounds, and that's too much for Heavy God to handle. VP cracked the B site again.
Yeah, this B site is starting to feel a little bit like a liability for G2. They're getting away with a lot because of what malbs is up to, but this B site is kind of crumbling. Shouldn't be that easy to take that part of the map for VP, but a couple of times now they've been able to just bully their way into B without loss.
I think, like, the utility... you've seen, like, you know, two different things from some of the teams that play against VP. Either they don't have the util that they need to hold some of these plays because they're used to the same timings and routines that they've been utilizing against other teams, and then you play a team with their own, like, little style, and sometimes you're not on top of adapting to that on the fly. In this case, G2 had exactly the utility they needed to hold that. You got the monster smoke coming down, the molly gets deployed into short, the flash onto the monster line, but positionally and timing-wise, they're not able to make that work. They're not able to hit the shot, and Mattis is again having a little bit of a rougher game in that short position. It just doesn't really seem to be clicking for him.
Yep.
Malbs can't be everywhere. Or maybe he can. Do we move into B now?
No, I think he just continues to do what he does on A, and then he'll transition into connector to B at a perfect timing, usually.
Yeah, let's just force stack the B side. Malbs has got the rest of the map. Let's just make sure that we actually unlock.
I actually don't think it's that bad of a strategy. He kind of feels like he can hold long and bathrooms at the same time.
I think he can hold long bathrooms and connector. Yeah, I think he's got the rest of that. Let's just get B under control for G2. Malbs is that good.
Yeah, the rest of the G2 lads do kind of need to step up a little bit. Can't be having another lights out performance from malbs on this map and have another loss. This is 3 rounds so far for VP on the T side. So, you know, I think we've been pretty stoked about what we're getting from malbs on G2, and that's sort of colored this cast a little bit. But let's not forget that VP have kind of done what they needed to do thus far on the T side. If you can kind of go tit for tat, 1-for-1 almost, that's typically okay.
I mean, they are just hard abusing the B site.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing, I think Virtus.pro want to tackle this issue head on. Setting up quite heavily around connector and A. Very much utilizing as much utility as possible to be able to try to clear out malbs. This time it will be the AWP on the deep long line.
Yeah.
See if they're going to cover it well with the flash or not. There you go.
Worried about that flash, but it's not going to push him off of the line. Now, there's a player that's gotten behind the rock, but Fame, his woes will continue. Now 0-6 to start this map and series off.
I mean, he dropped 30 against Vitality to open up this tournament on this exact map for VP. This map, he's been a certified liability.
He hasn't been Fame, he's been lame.
Just like that line. Look, I think that is just the up and down nature of some of the individuals that they do have on this team. You've seen everybody go huge. You've seen everybody had a shocker thus far. Flint's going to have to try to turn it around and open up this B site. It's been peppered in the head. Perfecto, nice timing onto Moles, finally punishing that A presence that is ever lurking, and now a little bit of utility pressure to follow up. They're just waiting for G2 to get caught off guard. Flint waiting in the wings, and Mattis once again caught off guard.
B-side liability again. Heavy God will go down following Mattis's death, and there's just no damage really being done by these B players. Yeah, they get the cheeky headshot onto Flit through the smoke, but like the reality is VP just kind of walked their way into that side a little too easily.
I mean, they just cut sound. Perfecto getting the pick onto Malbs is what applies so much pressure for all of those mistakes to come out. And once again, Sun Pius, it's the exit highlight reel. I've been watching this on this exact map for so many rounds now.
Yeah. I think he dropped almost 30 in that game against Furia.
I want to know how many exits at this point. Like, I would love an exit stat. But I know we don't have the tech. He did drop 30. He dropped 31, but like
31.
And look, the swing percentage says that he's done well for himself. I know he did have a couple of rounds, but I definitely saw him missing a couple of shots as well. I think he's been pretty reliable in this tournament with the AWP, though. I feel like every time on the CT side he's had the AWP and he's been up to bat. Most of the time he has been delivering. Unfortunately, some of those, you know, good shots that he's been hitting, some of the impact that he's been finding hadn't really been helping G2 win too much. I think particularly in that Furia game, like I remember they were already down 11 rounds or something, or already down against an 11-round count brought up by Furia, and he gets the AWP out and hits a couple of shots in rounds that they just end up losing anyway.
Well, this will be one where he is going to have to step up because he's the only weapon remaining for G2, worth noting. So he wants to try to get aggressive with that AWP. Just outside of bathrooms here. Will be smoked off. It's a big stack on B.
Yeah, I don't mind the approach. You know, if he gets a pick over to that A site, they're going to potentially start to respect the AWP. Flip, doing what he normally does. Freebie onto Heavy God, and he's well aware that there may be some aggression to follow that up. He's actually going to dive in front of the smoke here. Perfecto holding a flash for him, but it's an anti-flash setup for G2, and Flit is just punishing them in kind.
Yeah, just going to sneak back through that smoke. Perfecto with the spam to get him out to safety.
They're so comfortable with that. They're so comfortable to just, let's have a look what we're going to be finding out here.
Everything seems to be going right for VP. I mean, it's unfortunately a very similar start to this series for G2 as it was against Furia yesterday, where they got off to a real belter on Train and sort of a decent start here on Overpass as well. I think it was, what, 3-1, 4-1, something like that on this map. And it's kind of just getting away from them again.
Some Pious under pressure inside of the site. Does hit that shot. He's heard the footsteps. I was going to say, I didn't know if he was going to be ready for that player to be on the sight box, but beautiful flash from Beast to set up Toro for that peak. And now it's just Malbs. Even with the Deagle, you've got to give this man some respect. He's going to dive through the smoke. Thank God that it was a smoke in front of him, because he would have taken at least one with him.
Well, you can see that the game has really slowed down for G2 now that Malbs has started to cool off a little bit. You know, he's had 2 or 3 rounds where he hasn't really been able to contribute, and no one has stood up in his stead.
I mean, again, Perfecto's done an excellent job of stepping up here. Like, he has actually, in 1 or 2 of these rounds, been keeping Malbs in check on that A side of the map and finding the right timing to catch him off guard. If you're able to, you know, play some tricks, I mean, we know... Everyone knows if Perfecto and Malbs take an aim duel with each other, we know which way that's going, but Perfecto, if he's tricky enough to catch these timings, he can punish. Start on the B side of the map. Flit finally punished for his shenanigans. He can't just keep walking out Monster for free here.
Opening kill for G2. Hopefully that results in a converted round. This was a position they found themselves in a lot in yesterday's match that they weren't actually able to capitalize on. But VP don't have a player called Quesarado that will find 2 quick kills back in response. Maybe Bist.
They're doing their best to try to throw it away. Some Bias lucky to be alive. Malbs, even with the Famus, just instant deletion. I'm this guy's biggest fan. I love Guatemala. I'm buying tickets.
Yeah? You want to buy it?
The country?
Go in the raffle to buy Guatemala?
I don't think I've got the raffle down at the pub. Got a meat raffle and the Guatemala raffle. Buy your tickets now. Don't know how much they would cost. Fame finally breaks the donut. He was a secret agent up until this point.
Hunter waiting patiently as those flashes pop in his face, but doesn't have to come into play just yet.
Lovely.
Some Pious down, and now Matty's here to back Hunter up, but it is again a very late take here from VP. We'll see if they can make it work. They haven't checked Hunter yet, and they
Oh, there we go.
Fame is online. 4 kills. He's gone from 0 to 4 in the space of 1 round. And again, another round for VP. And by the way, G2 had a player advantage in that round.
I mean, VP, they kind of just threw Flit out Monster and they said, if he dies, we'll get it done.
If he dies,
don't even stress. It's all good. I mean, you know, that is the ceiling of some of these riflers on Virtus.pro coming into this tournament. Like, Fame can be on a donut and then just win the round single-handedly. Like, the level that some of these guys are bringing into Chengdu here has been great to watch. I mean...
That was fun.
That was.
Went for a slide?
I don't think I would be touching a metal slide right now in Queensland.
No.
You would get 3rd-degree burns.
That is true. Luckily, Overpass is in Germany.
Remember when we were reading you were reading the signs for us?
Guten Tag.
Back in the day. And who did... he did like an interview with one of the big players and spoke some German and his brain broke a little bit.
I can't remember who that was.
I mean, it was during the online era, which is why we were interviewing Big, but that's a story for another time. G2 taking another timeout. Got to come up with some answers here. Unfortunately, I don't know that they have the money to necessarily tackle this problem head on. Heavy God's got a hero rifle. At this point, I'm giving that to Malbs and saying, here you go, buddy. Take us home.
A very comfortable position to be in for Virtus.pro. Mattis was the one on the interview earlier saying that individuals needed to step up in the mid-round for G2, and I think, you know, he's the one in the firing line at the moment in that regard.
It's another rougher start to a game for Hunter as well, who has been either a little bit of a liability for G2 or excellent, and nothing in between, really.
Sure, but I think his role has been pretty tough in this game, right? It's been Heavy God and Mattis that have been sort of crushed on B over and over and over again, and then Hunter having to come in and try and backfill it when the round is almost already over.
That's fair. G2 pushing Virtus.pro out of connector for now. Virtus.pro quite happy to go ahead and take some control over here towards long A. Biz preparing to flash Fame into bathrooms. No one will be found on over there, though. Well, that's more of like a ticket station next to a bathroom. That's a bit of a weird combo.
It's a ticket office, yeah.
I mean, all I want to do is take a piss and then go and get my hands all over the ticket booth, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. Well, Malbs, looks like he's going to have a crack here.
Perfecto again. I mean, he's kind of been different him. I actually want to look what the head-to-head is between those two. I feel like Perfecto's 3-0 right now.
I bet a gun might have got it done there, but just the MP9. VP. I think it's illegal for Virtus.pro to enter a bomb site with more than 15 seconds on the clock.
It's just not their vibe, you know? If you tell VP we're having lunch at 12, they're rocking up at 2:30.
Fashionably late. Well, 17 seconds on the clock. It's go time. Here comes the grenades, and they have bamboozled G2, who have completely given up the B bomb site. They make it work again.
This style has got to be so frustrating to play against when it's working effectively. You know, you're sitting in the round for such a long time, left to simmer, starting to lose focus. You're starting to, you know, wane a little bit in terms of your attention, and then you get hit with a Russian rifler in the peak of his prime, Ferrari peeking you and snapping your head off in a second.
I think you would start to second guess yourself a little bit as well when you see a bit of util getting tossed in on your site, because you can never really be sure where Virtus.pro are actually going to end up until there's like literally 10 seconds left on the clock.
But I mean, that's where you need to kind of play that dance of, if we're not holding the site, we need to go and get some info. And we need to go for a little bit of aggression in the early to mid round, or play a little bit more of a forward setup, which is where initially G2 were having some success with those bathroom setups and mobs kind of roaming around. The issue really lies in the fact that in the last couple of rounds when they've been doing that, VP playing this very slow default kind of approach often are punishing some of that aggression. So you can start to think to yourself, if I just don't get picked, then things will go better. But that's kind of a false prophecy at the end of the day. All roads kind of lead to the same thing. Either you've got no info and VP are playing with your rotations, or you're losing picks in the early round. It's kind of a lose-lose sometimes.
Well, Flit has managed to navigate past the boost, so he'll get a freebie onto Heavy God. And again, it's the B bomb site that is being exploited by VP.
I think Heavy God's going to have some firm words with Mattis after this one. Malbs exiting connector, well covered by Sunfire's Flit,
jump.
isolated inside of Shore. G2, they're starting to make some moves here, but Perfecto rights the ship. The captain is in firm control right now, and VP down 2 players. Once again, open up this B site like it's nothing.
Yeah, Biss is going to get that plant, and he'll get out before the grenade does any damage either. So boost to come through here. Some Pius, you're set up for these clutch moments. This is where he does have to come up with the goods. You want Malbs to move a little further across, maybe not, just wants to get on the ground and have a crack, but time is ticking away for G2, and Perfecto in the position to make an impact early. Some players pulls out that 5-7, gives up a lot of HP for his trouble there, and it's on to Bist now, who has almost assuredly won this round already for Virtus.pro. It will be 8 at the half. A phenomenal T-side again out from Virtus.pro on Overpass. Almost like Groundhog Day here for G2, as it felt like a very, very similar start to this series as their game against Furia, and it has also felt like a very similar overpass as to their game against Furia as well. Things were looking okay on that CT side, you know, getting a lot of opening kills, but not being able to convert on many of those rounds has put Virtus.pro in a very good position to start this series up 1-0.
Bist spotting out the cross will fall away back to bathrooms. Had a great game thus far from both Perfecto and Toro in particular. Both of them having so much impact for Virtus.pro in that previous half. Perfecto felt like he was all over the map, and then even winning what was pretty much a self-sufficient 2v4 right at the end of the half. He's really been in fine form. Felt like an underperformance from him on the first day.
Yes.
The second day he was decent, and it feels like today he's like the trend in form just continues to skyrocket.
Perfecto's powering up. No longer is he defecto.
Got to come up with a new name for him. Perfecto's just the average one. I don't know what the good one would be.
Perfecto prime.
He's in his prime, yeah. G2 setting up this B execute. Just Toro over here has been solid at holding this site, and he's going to have to be because he was solo until that flash comes in on a pretty nice timing. Can't capitalize off of it. Heavy God takes a fair bit of damage, but G2 are getting into the site nonetheless.
They've done a lot of damage there, VP, but the kills just didn't quite come. Heavy God on 3 HP, still a warrior in this fight. It was actually not a terrible setup for VP. It's just that the shots did not connect.
That's exactly right. You couldn't have picked a better timing. The flash came in, hits multiple players on G2. Toro cannot capitalize. And look at how many CT. They had 5 in the B site to defend, and it still goes 1 for 5 in favor of G2.
Oh, not to be left behind. VP have decided to force into this round. And Bist is on a mission.
Where's he going?
Full stack B with Bist in connector.
He's just listening for information, if anything. Counting the grenades. Scurrying his way back towards the A site. There's one thing I know about VP, it's that they're quite comfortable sitting on the sites. They don't even necessarily care about information, care about interacting with the mid-round at all. VP will sit in the sites till the cows come home while you spend all of your time making your way through the map using a util, this and that, running the clock down, and then when it comes to holding the site, they usually come up with the goods, but I think Bist on his own with a deagle is probably not going to be good enough, and will probably just end up in a save unless he goes ballistic with the deagle.
The only way to win is to not play the game when you're playing against VP. G2 have certainly decided they want to play this round, and Bist has not really got many answers for it. Will smoke himself off, but can't do anything about VP working their way into the site, and will be cleaned up as well. It's not necessarily going to give you any prizes for guessing where Bist is hiding when that CT smoke is set up by Truck. So he gets spammed down, and VP will save their guns for the next round.
As expected. Bist unable really to put anything together, so just is what it is. Fair few grenades used there by VP in that last round that they probably went up the money to replace in the next. So we'll likely just look for damage in the next round. It's a good recovery from G2 though, keeping this game nice and close, similar to what they did on Overpass against Furia. Keep themselves in the driver's seat here. They can for sure close on this T side.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely enough there for G2 to still have something of interest to say. I have to get through this next round first though, before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
I mean, Bist has 2.8 and he hasn't done anything in this game. He's had 3 kills. 2 of them won Virtus.pro a round on that B site, and that's all he's done this game. He's had a round. So once he gets that AWP on the CT side going, he needs to start to activate. Because I don't know how long VP can just keep winning games when your AWP isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, it might not actually come unstuck here against G2. It does still feel like they are enough of a match. A pretty tough road ahead for him.
A can't control again from G2. Smoke to baths. All of the bits and pieces that you would expect. Bist going on an info mission. Hopping around on long A, doesn't see anything over there. Bit of a different approach. G2 working the connector control to front baths instead of clearing long A more heavily this time. Just little different approaches on their anti-ecos, making sure that the trends are not too played out.
Boing. How many times in a row do you reckon you could jump it up and down on the spot?
I don't know, actually.
I reckon you get pretty tired pretty quick.
Yeah.
G2 starting to make their moves towards the A site.
A lot of players over here.
See, that should have...
malbs knows about that spot.
Yeah, that should have been fame in the first half. malbs is up to his tricks, and the rest of G2 are up to theirs, pushing their way in onto that A-bomb site without too much of a recourse coming through here from VP. Flit, though, doubling down with the assistance of Toro, who still remains alive, but no HP, really, so fairly anticlimactic round in the end there, but that's exactly what G2 are hoping for as they get themselves another one and start to close this gap.
Just hoping for the best there. But yeah, not much in this game now. Really anyone's to go out and grab. T-side economy looking good enough to play a couple. Hopes out for Biss. Util's looking good on VP. Biss going to take that angle towards long on the garden bed. I don't think I've seen him once take an aggressive peek in con or deep on party or anything like that once this game. I've never seen it. It's very, very passive on the ult. Maybe that's stylistically what VP want from him.
Yeah.
But, you know, most of the time he's just sitting in divider or on the garden bed, and he doesn't even stick around for that long. Like, you're seeing it here as well. This is VP's approach every time. I mean, you know, it just kind of waiting to see if someone's going to give them a freebie in the first 20 seconds, and then they very much just sit on the site.
Could be a bit of a confidence thing as well for Bist that, you know, he recognizes he hasn't been having the greatest of times thus far, and so doesn't feel confident in calling his own plays, making his own moves. So just opting for the low risk, low reward kind of style, which I suppose there's some validity in that, but I mean, there's only Orpa to be the one that's kind of calling his own plays.
There's only validity in it if you hold the sites, which I have to admit VP at times have done a very good job of doing. But here will be another opportunity for them to be tested. Smoke goes out into the monster tunnel. 35 seconds on the clock. Double nade. Doesn't quite catch Toro, but the execute will come in nonetheless.
Yeah, push through the smoke. It's not going to go well at all. Toro has just threaded the needle, dodged both of those grenades. And a nice spam into the monster tunnel kind of puts this one to rest. VP still trying to hold on to the side, though. Do start to lose a couple of members, but inevitably the power of numbers gets the better of G2.
It's a good fortune and monster anchoring there from Toro. Do see that quite often. Drops the smoke onto shore and then just spamming away. That's why you pick up the A4 there. Before the execute even gets kicked off, you hear the couple pieces of utility flying in. You know that it's coming, and you just spam down the common line to chip down the numbers as much as possible. Really, really good play on the monster anchor from Toro.
Yeah, just when it's required as well for VP to kind of start get going on this CT side before it gets too close for comfort. G2 still have got some money though. So they put an AWP in the hands of some Pius.
Yeah, on the T side. Waiting for the door to get blown open, but he'll throw it open himself and wait for some aggression on short. Vecto spamming away. Bullets returned, but it's quite inconsequential at the end of things. Heavy God has got some footing inside of short B here. Now G2 looking for a little bit more A control, which will once again just be given to them.
So remember what kind of a disruptor Heavy God was yesterday on those entries into short water. Yet to kind of see that on the T side here for G2, but his entry pathing was really, really nice yesterday against Furia. So someone that was struggling a little bit in the first half, if he can turn it around here in the second, could be a big win condition for G2.
Again, respect being given by Virtus.pro. Clock starts to run down. There's a lot of utility still left here on the CT side, particularly for Bist on the rotation. Toro still has a molly over here on B. So some serious stopping power if this execute does come in. Sun Pius looking for an opportunity, looking for a chance. Toro taking a lot of damage from the nade, going to drop some delaying utility and buy time for the rotation. 20 seconds. G2 need to get in the site.
Bias is trying to make that possible. It's not having any luck at all on the entry, and Heavy God can't see anything through that smoke either. This is quite dangerous for G2. They've got to dislodge Toro, and they do eventually get the better of him, but the trades are coming through thick and fast from BP. Transition is in. Mach 10 for some Pius is not going to be enough. There's no time.
G2 timing themselves out, trying to do a VP against VP themselves, and the flood comes in just in the nick of time. Really, really nice job from VP to hold enough grenades and buy time for the rotations to come in. That was really the difference maker there. Smoke dropped in front of barrels. Molly into Monster just disrupts G2 enough for a big flood for the rest of VP. Timeout for G2, the last one that they'll have access to. Running out of opportunities.
Oh, okay. That'll happen. Nice shot from Bist. Through the smoke onto Hunter. Doesn't make life any easier for G2, but you're right, they are running out of time on this map. And we did get to watch VP yesterday playing on Inferno against FaZe, and they didn't seem too shabby. So it might not just be this map which their time is running out on, it might well be this series, and as a result of that, this tournament. That would be a shocking exit for G2.
I mean, it's not that shocking, though, to bring some one-head analysis into things when you just look at the scoreboard for them.
Right.
malbs is squatting 300 right now, and the rest of the boys are struggling to put anything together. Sunpies has had his moments here and there with mixed impact. But where is the rest of Rifling Core for G2? Heavy God, Hunter, even Matis at times is all players that can definitely do some damage for G2, especially when they're in good form. We've seen them have some good results, some good runs in tournaments lately. It just hasn't been it in Chengdu for some of these guys.
Too much spicy hot pot.
Could be.
It's enough to put anyone off.
Yeah. At some point, you can't hold it in any longer. I need you to kind of show me something.
Not sure that's the kind of thing you want to be seeing, but B-side hold is quite weak for VP right here. It's only Toro hiding inside Monster Tunnel.
He just wants to take this 1v1 with the lurker. Oh, Debbie Cop was ready for it.
Yeah, that's a scissors, paper, rock round that has gone really nicely for G2. It might be an instant save call for VP, honestly.
And they're comfortable with that. Won't be conceding too many guns either. To Virtus.pro at the end of things. I mean, to G2 at the end of things. There's still 3 players with pistols here, so like this will be a round win and a fair bit of cash, but a lot of that will have to be spent on rifles, I think, reinvesting into the next round. Heavy God's the only one who's been able to find a rifle, so, you know, playing the long game and economically speaking, I don't think VP necessarily mind that, especially Perfecto catches Heavy God here and picks up the M4 at the end of things. That's ice cold from Perfecto. He just crossed his fingers and his toes and he said, "You're not going to find me." He had his hands firmly over his eyes and Heavy God was like, "Bro, like, I can see you, man. Like, you're right there."
I can see you.
Did he bump into him into the smoke, or he just kind of intuitively knew? Nothing caught Heavy God off guard that round. Either way.
His spidey sense was tingling.
Hey, you know, when you get the tingle, you got to just go with it.
You ever had fruit tingles before?
Fruit tingles? I think
fruit
so.
Tingles?
They're
You don't think so?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, they were good back in the day.
Like the little sherbety disc.
Yeah,
things.
as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Made your tongue feel all sorts of ways. Shout out to my fruit tingle fans in the chat.
Shout out to the tinglers.
I think that might be an Aussie thing, though. I don't reckon fruit tingles... I feel like fruit tingles sounds like an Australian thing.
Yeah. We're a bit weird like that. Bit cooked.
This game's getting a bit cooked. VP don't have a lot of money.
I mean,
Perfecto down to a 5-7.
You see that reinvestment there for G2 as well. malbs, despite after winning themselves around with no one really dying, they still have had to purchase up the rifles and taken a bit of a hit after the Tech 9 armor buy does get through. VP losing a couple of players there, have had to go down to MP957, but they're still going to give this round another crack.
Yeah, you're going to have to try and set Bist up for something. He does go for a bit more of an aggressive move this time around.
That was aggressive. It was
that's
barely
about
out of the beast.
That's about as aggressive as he has been, though, to be fair.
It's true. I mean, the most aggressive he's been was being in position to take a shot in the mid-round. Bloody hell. Heavy God has made his way deep into B short yet again here. Sunpire's waiting for Toro to be getting up to his shenanigans, as he often does, over towards Monster. But he's got a bit more help on the B site this time. And G2 are heading in his direction. Someone's got to get the bomb, though.
Who's going to get the bomb? Not Sunpire's. Definitely not Sunpire's now, as Flit does find himself a nice trade. This is going to become a bit of a scramble for G2. They've only now kind of realized that they've left that bomb behind, so Hunter goes to collect it. 30 seconds on the timer. Smoke on short. Smoke at Monster.
Malbs has got a nade, but he's on the other side of the map.
They're surely not going A. Perfecto Jump Spot has seen them.
They have to go A. No one's on the A site here. Malbs has a timing. This could actually work for G2. It's all on Malbs to pick Bist on the cross here.
Oh, Bist is in bank, and he's called for the rotation. I think G2 kind of know the jig is a little bit up, but Malbs out onto the site already. Perfecto still got one. On plan, not quite denied. A good tag would be nice from Bist. It's not going to happen. It all comes down to Fame. A double kill with that M4, and now it's just Heavy God needing to activate here for G2. The spray transfer even not connecting. And so Bist will get it done, and VP hang on to what was an awkward round.
I mean, they're very comfortable in those positions, though, or coming right down into the last 10 seconds. This team is in their perfect position.
Their element.
They're in their element for sure. G2 looking a little uncomfortable, if anything, scrambling to try to make it to the A site in time, and it's another successful flood from Virtus.pro.
G2 ain't got no money. Down 8-11. Not a fun place to be.
Gonna take out a loan. For a couple of them, though, the credit wasn't looking too good, so they've only come up with a pistol. Got like a 2000 Toyota Corolla. But look, she does the job. At least you'd hope so.
Bist has heard these steps, and he's ready.
Wow. 1 minute 30, he's gone for a pick. That's something else. He's a changed man. Heavy God, though. He's harassing the B site.
Yeah,
and you can see the movements as a result of that. Flit knows that is the B lurker. It's the role that he plays himself, and he's just timed Heavy God to perfection.
I was going to say, I don't mind seeing Heavy God kind of play that little bit, sort of throw caution to the wind style again.
Yeah, and I mean, he's picked Toro, who sometimes is solo on that B site, which is why he's like, okay, I've killed the B player.
Right.
I probably don't really need to be too concerned about someone walking out Monster like that on me, but that's where Flit just is an extra layer deep in the mind games.
1-2 now for G2. Stuck behind a smoke in bathrooms. Got Fame to try to dislodge, but he's helped out by Bist, who's watching bathrooms to make sure no one can wrap in behind him. No longer. He's moved off the line.
30 seconds again. G2 continue to run down the clock. The bomb had delivered to Fame, and he's applying pressure to Hunter as well. Hunter stepping up, though. 2-on-2. It's a traffic jam on the dumpster, and Mattis. Finally, we've been waiting for this, man. A key 3K to keep G2 in the game.
Yeah, that was a round that could have very easily gone the way of VP if Fame gets a second, or if even survives just a little bit longer to allow that rotate to come through. It looked like it was a great setup for VP on that A side of the map. Just didn't quite manage to execute on it. Even these two players coming up at Dumpster, you'd think probably should have been worst case a 1-for-1 there onto Mattis. Now VP broke, and G2 are back in action.
Game is theirs on a silver platter. At least they can push things up to double digits, and if they can cleanly close out this anti-eco, then they're going to have more than enough for gun rounds to get it done. Flit up to some more shenanigans. Oh dear, he has found the timing to sneak across. Have you got... Maybe caught off guard by this. The swing straight through the chain link fence. It wasn't an instant dink, though.
Yeah, that's what he needed.
Yeah.
So, not much in this round for Virtus.pro.
Just perfecto to reflect on everything that's been. It's been a good tournament so far for Virtus.pro. No one had any expectations of this team coming into this event, but I think they've already surpassed the expectations. It's just a question of how far they can push it, really. I mean, even if they win this game, Jordan,
right?
You got to play Vitality again. I mean,
what do you mean? You might have to play Lim Vision.
They almost beat them 2-0.
What about Lim Vision? Are you forgetting Lim Vision?
Oh.
0 rounds on T side, Dust2, your map
The
pick,
team that
Vision?
got 12-0'd in the first half that they played against Vitality, that's the team that you're backing, huh? That is some serious Asia CS bias, even from you.
Hopium.
You just want to see another Amelia interview. Don't even lie to the people.
Good.
Good morning.
How are you today? Good morning.
Yes.
To be fair to him, that's kind of how I feel when I go to China and try to speak Chinese.
Yeah.
Someone will say, have you had anything for breakfast? And I'll say, ni hao.
Good. Oh, you speak Chinese.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice, man. Must have been studying hard for a ni hao.
Dui.
Dui. Alrighty. Double digits now for G2. By coming back on in here for Virtus.pro, this doesn't have access to the AWP, which he actually has had a moment or two with this game. Let's see if he's going to have any impact with the rifle. Quicker pacing. Straight into short B here. Eating a nade. They want to set up some Pius for a pick. He slides onto the line. HE nade is harassing Toro. They're very much trying to push him into the AWP line, but for now, he's not interested.
Yeah, Flit also just holding passively behind the pillar. VP not going to be moving too much of a muscle on this B-bomb side by the looks of it, but it is still early days, so some Pius can sit on this line for a good while.
What do G2 go for, though, if the pick doesn't come to fruition? Does seem like they do want to still end towards this B site. They've got more than enough utility for an execute, but VP have got more than enough utility to reply.
They've already got so much space on short. They could just walk up with some Pius watching the line.
Oh no, that's the molly going down. Toro on the close angle with the MP9 peeking out his Flit, not punished. G2 still far from decided about where they want to end this round. They're going to take a duel with Fame.
It's all on Fame. Really, this round, isn't it? If he gets a nice timing here, he might be able to stop their exit at top con.
Mattis is just waiting for him. They know exactly what he's up to here. I mean, that's about the best he could have done in that situation.
Yeah. I mean, does well to get himself one. Meanwhile, malbs is walking his way out on B. Virtus.pro have actually got no idea where G2 are going at the moment. That's a big kill from Perfecto. Not able to find the crucial second, and malbs is on the B site, so looks like VP are going to be giving this one up.
Necessary kill from malbs. Couple of different situations where they could have slipped for G2, but they delivered every key kill where it was necessary, and it always felt like they were in control there. Finding Toro on the close angle means no incendiary for Virtus.pro, and from there it felt like VP just continually felt the need to make moves in the man disadvantage situation that G2 were always prepared to punish. How's the Envision going?
Down 0-3 on map 2.
What was the scoreline on the first map? Dust2, surely it's a good result for them. They're great at Dust2.
They lost, 13-2.
Oh, 2 is not bad against Vitality. Right?
Could be better. This game really going down to the wire. It's felt like an absolute marathon rather than a sprint for both of these teams taking their time on the T side.
I mean, what's the money, though, for VP at this point after getting kind of dispatched in that last round? Exactly this. They're going to have to concede map point here unless Biz can do something special with the rifle. Flit's going to back himself as well. Hero M4 for him.
It's been quite a nice fight back from G2. Does have to be mentioned. They were looking like they were down and out.
They've shown some pretty solid resilience here and there. Flit waiting to isolate Heavy God in short B if he can find it, but it's a very passive approach because G2 know that this buy is horrific. They've definitely reset VP. They know that there's going to be a rifle hanging around somewhere. Obviously won't be aware that a second's been invested in from Flip, but it's not really going to change how they play too much. It's slow, it's steady. Playing the percentages. Flash into bathrooms.
Yeah, just very methodical Counter-Strike here from G2. Taking map control slowly, using a bit of util on the way in. Really, really standard stuff. Will be the A finish.
Heavy through long. Well, technically Heavy's on party because he's the lurker, but, you know, you get what I was going for there. Counter utility coming out here for Virtus.pro, but G2 have got more than enough time to wait it out. There are 4 CTs here. Some of them do have rifles, and even the P250 is starting to sing a little bit. Mostly, it is just the P250s before Flip does get involved. That 2K
3K
wins the round outright for Hunter. I mean, yeah, the 2 at the end there were what were needed, though. That was very much starting to fall apart.
Yeah, Hunter's really turned his form around from the first half to the second. The same for Mattis. Those 2 players were like 1-8 or 1-9. And Toro is going to have a crack here with the 5-7. Doesn't have any armor. So aim punch will be a factor here as well. He needs headshots only and doesn't get the chance. 12-11. It is now G2's map to lose.
Great resilience from them. First time in ages we've even seen VP take a timeout. Just to be able to try to get themselves into overtime at this point. See what their buy will be looking like here. Orbs out for Bist. Still do have that T-side Orb on the side of Sumpires as well. So we'll see if G2 want to set him up for an aggressive peak in the early round up short, or whether he's just going to be holding down lines and throwing some extra util for the boys.
All right, high fives going out. Try and pump the boys up. One final round. Let's go. Lock in and then get it done in the OT. It's definitely not impossible for Virtus.pro. A lot resting on the shoulders of this round, though, knowing that we're going into an Inferno that has been picked by G2.
Something a little different here for Virtus.pro. Fame interconnector. Contesting on short B as well, but punished heavily by the god himself. Perfecto takes a lot of damage through the wall there as well. It dodges the HE nicely.
Yeah, Fleet couldn't see a damn thing. I don't know if that was CT flashes, because there was no flash assist to come through.
Not sure. Some pious. Looking to further extend the advantage for G2. This is just their MO at this point. Whenever they find this man advantage, they start looking for more. Fame under pressure, I was going to say. He's a bit of a wizard dodging the flames there. He's done a bit of a Chris Angel act here, and Mattis, as a result, completely unaware.
He's got no idea. It's good trigger discipline here from Fame, but he's not going to get more than one. He's going to have to take this kill at some point. Maybe not. Malbs goes down. Fame is just going to try and take as much as he possibly can. Heavy God's killing everybody. He's killed Fame through Hunter. But the kill does come through, and that's what's important for G2. Sumpires also able to strike on Perfecto. In the dying stages of Overpass, it might just be G2 to sneak away with something, unless the young gun, the newbie on VP, can make something happen. He drops Sumpires, but that's not the bomb carrier.
25 seconds. Heavy God has to consider his options here. Wants to try to tackle this issue head on.
Time.
Creeping through Monster. 15 seconds on the clock. Bist repositioning.
He's got to smoke. So he can smoke and he can get a plant. But if he takes too long, Bist might just catch him as that smoke blooms. I imagine that's what's going to happen. He's in fact just going to try to plant behind. No, he takes the fight. And it's gone 12-12. Bist holds on for VP.
Only had a couple of moments in this game, but that is an important one to keep Virtus.pro alive. Round didn't start well for them, but the finish is beautiful. Fame and Bist both having a step up in a round right when it was needed. Still a chance for VP to get this one done, but for G2, they are sick of seeing overtime on Overpass.
Yeah, well, they're just hoping this one's going to go differently to the last, where they did lose to Furia yesterday. That felt like it was really on offer for G2, but nice clutch from Bist. That'll be a confidence builder for him as well. You know, he hasn't necessarily felt like he's been delivering, but a really, really crucial round picked up.
Toro rashly just playing right in the mouth of the monster tunnel. Refresh on the smoke. Just biding his time. Got a long setup over on the other side of the map, waiting for G2 to take some control over there, but it does seem like G2 are considering making some moves towards the monster tunnel. There's the utility pressure over on the A side of the map. The A setup won't bite.
Patient approach from G2 this time around. They did try to bring a bit more pace in that final round of regulation.
Fame is going to come in for the flank here, slowly but surely making his way in towards Party. Has kind of swapped places with G2. I don't think they're going to necessarily be ready for this 1%er.
Yeah, Heavy God. Moments away from being a dead man. I think he might have been spotted out there. But Hunter could be an X factor if he walks out long. Fame creeping and crawling and finally finds his man. Heavy God goes down.
Oh, Fame could continue to be a problem. Even though Hunter has found control of this A site, they need to make their way through this man. Malbs, at least good for the trade, even if he is quite low. And this is where Hunter starts to get involved in the action. He's cutting off the rotations right at the shoulder. No room at all for Virtus.pro to work with. They've lost control of their own spawn. But there wasn't enough time for G2. I wasn't even looking at the time, Jordan.
I don't think G2 were either.
How many times have they run out of time on the T side this game?
Normally that's
it's
VP.
Getting kind of ridiculous at this point. It very much feels like they're trying to play VP's tempo and they're not doing a very good cosplay sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's the first one on the board for VP. And they're off to the races again here for round number 2. Molly into short water. It's going to be smoked off. Heavy God again with that same entry parting. Gets himself up on short nice and quickly this time around. This could be a real B crunch out from G2. They're going to go back to basics. There's no funny business this time around. They're just going to try to bully their way in. And Mattis says thank you very much for a couple out of the monster tunnel. Still Perfecto on the side to get past, but he's fired a shot or two, giving away his position. Inside that smoke, though, he's doing a lot of work. He's got a kill, and more importantly, he's survived for another one. Pius goes down as well. Despite these entries coming through for G2, they still do not have the site. Perfecto is pulling off a miracle. He's got another one.
This man's a magician. Just running in and out of the smoke. Doing a disappearing act and popping up when you least expect him, and Bist on the line secures it. A second now for Virtus.pro. G2 undoubtedly under the pump.
Yeah, that's an awesome round from Perfecto.
Incredible. It's just been fantastic, this map, right from start to finish.
Just using this smoke so well.
I mean, this is what peak Perfecto was back in Na'Vi. Positionally, such a sound player. You know, surrounded by star players, but he was, you know, this supportive element that when he was needed to step up in some of these kind of skew-if situations, he was able to do that. And he's definitely rediscovering some of this form in VP in this tournament.
100%. Yeah, real headache for G2. 2 very winnable rounds in the OT. Very winnable round in the final round of regulation, and none of them have gone their way. It's 3 on the trot now for VP. Feels like this game's starting to get away from G2 again. It's been a real ebb and flow. But the momentum is with Virtus.pro at the moment.
See if VP can put 3 on the trot together on the CT side. That would put the press on G2 to deliver nothing but perfection on their own. It's quick movements over towards Party to start things off. Bist posted up once again on the flower bed. Flint fumbling a little as Mattis makes some moves up comp. Is a bit more of a lean towards this A side of the map. And that's the first time in a while we've actually seen VP on the front foot. They are going to fight for bathrooms control. I don't think this is something G2's had to deal with yet.
Molly tickling the feet of Bist is going to mean that Fame is alone and isolated, and that's not going to work out too kindly for him. Nice tag, though, from Bist, who has
oh no,
a bit of impact later on in this game. It's unfortunately going to go the other way this time around. G2 claim the numbers advantage.
That's impressive, though, that he had the mechanics to know that that was on. You know, even though he only connected through the wall, he pulls out the nade because he knows that was definitely a connection. Can tell this man has definitely played his way through enough rounds of CS to just kind of intuitively be aware. I'm going to now get this execute out onto the A side. 2 players over here for VP. Perfecto inside of a smoke yet again, wanting to cause some problems. The nade blows it open, but not for long enough for him to go discovered.
Yeah, they don't see him.
Oh, to get another nade. He's dead, man. Surely.
He is now. was hoping for something inside that smoke. It's not going to happen. It's all on Flit, and he's only good for one. Nice spacing from G2. Nothing really that Flit could do there, so it's on the shoulders of Toro to come rotating up from the B bomb side and have a crack in this final round of the first half of OT. He will be smoked off at Dumpster. Does have a kit and a grenade as well that may be of use against Mattis, but
yeah, chucks that on truck. That could be a first, but even from there,
feels like a bit of an impossible round here for Toro. Of course, he's going to give it a crack, starting to work his way out onto the site, but time has already ticked too far. It'll be 14-13. VP holding on to the lead after the first half of the overtime.
themselves a little bit more room to work with on the CT side. VP going to be back on their own T side. They had a lot of success in regulation on that B side of the map, so that's something that G2 will have to respect a little more. Rifle-centric gameplay from the CIS squad. Not wanting to throw the AWP into BIS's hands, at least in this first round of OT, may indicate that they want to go for something with a little bit more tempo.
Ooh. Flit will be stopped short by that Molotov, and that'll give time for G2 to push their way forward. Mattis takes matters into his own hands.
It's good to see him delivering some impact. He's definitely stepped up, had a couple of key multi-frags, but in a position where in this tournament so far, a couple of times he's been a bit of a liability, is going to set G2 off on the right foot.
Flash ready here from Bist for Perfecto. Not required. No contact to be taken. Jump spot may have seen Perfecto there.
Heavy God sitting inside the mouth of the monster tunnel. Flashback onto the short B line. Doesn't find anything for Mattis. Maybe a false sense of security for a G2 that may consider some kind of a rotation. They are considering the fact that maybe there was a lurk dropped off over in towards short B and they were trying to see if they could flush that out. But nobody on VP is anywhere near B. Going to work their way back down connector instead with 45 seconds. But surely that means it's still going to be a B ending here. Like they can't just go A and clear out all of these angles with no time on the clock. That would be suicidal. Looks like Perfecto may... I was going to say flash them back out of combat. They don't even want to give that tell to G2.
G2 still set up with 3 on B, but remember B was a bit of a liability, so VP will be feeling confident about this take nonetheless. Flashes popped in through the monster tunnel. Hunter on the off angle, only going to be good for 1. Good trade from Bist, but the numbers are there. G2 this time look good to hold on to the B bomb site. Toro can't get it done. Scoreline equalized back at 14-14.
Yeah, look, VP losing that opening pick on Flit, courtesy of Mattis. Waiting out long enough for G2 to not have a single grenade to hold the side, but they get it done the old-fashioned way. Just a solid crossfire and some good positioning. Even Stevens now. Ops out for Bist. I'm not feeling like the 5 rifle was the approach that was a winner. Once again, boost up over the top. Sun Pius looking to tickle the toes.
No visual.
Roger that.
Your favorite toe streamer has gone offline.
No.
What
My
could be
day
worse?
is ruined.
Yeah.
What am I going to do now? Go to work? Fat chance. Bist. He's got some work to do himself. Posting up on the line here. Just trying to lock down that short B aggression line. Fame, though. Hey, there you go. Malbs at the flower pot.
Who could have guessed?
He's on top of it.
It's an important opener, though, for VP. Hasn't really drawn much of a transition, though, from G2, who are still pretty stoic on this B bomb site.
I mean, it's mostly Sun Pius. They're just trusting in the sun. Well, the rest of the boys hold on to that big site. Heavy God considering some aggression inside of the monster tunnel. It's that key duel versus Flit that's been happening on both sides of the map. Both of these players playing the exact same role for their respective teams.
Some Pius waiting. He's really going to have to come up big here because everything else is happening on the other side of the map. Some Pius for 2. He hits the no-scope. That is huge. 17 seconds left on the clock, and now a real scramble for Virtus.pro. The same can be said for G2 as Hunter comes up to the A side, but they have got to get in, and they've got to do it quickly. Molotov has gone too deep. Hunter looks to deny the plant. He's done it. He's denied the plant. They didn't plan in time.
Oh, they whipped the molly. It didn't fly. Oh, man.
That is such a VP round.
That looked more like a G2 round, to be honest. That's what G2 have been doing.
I mean,
this
VP
game,
have been doing that all tournament too.
Just the thundering footsteps of Hunter are enough aura to make mans get off the plant. Please, sir.
I mean, it's just so chaotic when you let the timer get down to like 15. Like, you're here with 15 seconds on the clock.
I don't know, but both teams are doing it this game. It's both teams. It's not just VP.
15-14, G2 with a chance to close out map 1. Steal it away from Virtus.pro.
They'd love to win a 16-14 on Overpass.
Oh, that would be a tilter for VP as well, considering how things have gotten to this point.
Mattis wanting to get active on a completely different part of the map. Heavy God getting spammed away out by Flit. Util in the middle of the map. This is definitely going to be a scrap. Mattis lying in wait. Perfecto. It is perfect timing from the man to find that pick onto Molbs to start things up, but they're not aware of Bias. That's a whip shot.
Hang on.
Able to recalibrate. Gonna keep himself alive. Mattis still hasn't got involved in the action here. He's still waiting in the wings.
What is this madness? This round is just chaotic. The last couple of rounds, everybody all over the place, but Mattis has not been cleared. This could be huge. He could find himself a double. He'll definitely deny the plant. He looks for more than that, and he gets it. He doesn't quite stop the plant, but he does get 2. And that makes this one doable for G2. Fame in a critical position. Lands another important shot, which leaves it all on Heavy God, and VP might just get through this by the skin of their teeth. Heavy God can't get it done. It's overtime number 2.
Just chaos. Pure, unadulterated chaos everywhere on the map.
Both teams just losing their heads a little bit in the last couple of rounds. I mean, a nice recovery initially there for some Pius, but that was up the creek without a paddle.
That is misses the easy ones, hits the hard ones in a nutshell.
Run it back.
Molb solo on this A side of the map. So we'll see where some Pius will take the orb early on. Will be a quick extinguishing of that short B smoke, and the orb posted up inside of short B, hand in hand with Mattis. A lot of flashes being layered over the top, but nobody from VP taking any space over there. So any kind of seeds of doubt that they were hoping to sow in the minds of G2 that they were going for a short B default and that Flip might be dropped off over there, you know, that's not really going to trouble G2 too much in terms of decision making. However, VP very much changing things up. It's dry contact all the way up into the A side. Not something that Molbs has seen before. He's dropped his whole belt to utility, but swinging out into the open. You could tell he was not ready for VP to be that far up the guts.
How about Hunter on this off angle? He's got some Pius to back him up as well. Molotov pushing them both forward. That is some real nice util from VP, and it completely dislodges the hold from G2. So Pius and Hunter had nowhere to go.
Big flag from Heavy God. He's got a long way to go. May catch actually Flit off guard for free, which would put things into a 2-on-2. Oh, there's 2 players. Trigger discipline is excellent. Biss forced to 1-on-2 once again here.
He's done it once, he can do it again. Another critical moment here for VP to get off to a good start in OT number 2. Time ticking away for G2. Bist happily just waiting on the line. Gets himself a nice shot onto Heavy God. Defuse is on. And an expertly secured clutch for Bist.
Very nice stuff from the rookie. I mean, he's been quiet, but he has won VP 4 or 5 rounds this game single-handedly when he needs to step up. Kept them in the game, winning that key 1-on-2 at the end of regulation, and that's another nice 1v2-1. These are very clearly the kind of situations that VP wants to put him into. He's been very passive on the CT side. They want him to hold the site when G2 is breaching it. And on the T side, he's throwing the util, very much playing in the pack. And when we get into the post plant, they want him to be a turret.
Yeah, he's delivering in that respect at the very least. So pressure's back on the shoulders now of G2, who will seek to answer the opener from VP. Nothing really to comment on in terms of the buy.
Yeah, I guess not. G2 taking a timeout. See what the key adjustment that Saw has come up with, or whether it was a bit more of a, focus up kind of situation. Malb's a little bit more active, as is some bias towards this A side of the map. G2 very much playing for picks and looking to disrupt VP. A little bit, at least in the early round, but that's respectful from Malbs. More respect than he's given, especially in the opening portions of these rounds against both Furia and VP at the start of this game. Checking on the garden bed, flash up over the top towards long A, divider utility, Flit.
Here we go again.
He just has a little bit of a hello, how you going? Don't have long to chat.
Wants to have another go up short. He's just a door-to-door salesman looking for someone to talk to.
Please, man, take my bro short. I promise you, it's not an MLM.
VP really have the run of things in this round, though. It's a super passive hold from G2 on both sides of the map.
Yeah, they got caught by the contact play on that A side of the map last time around. 30 seconds on the clock. Once again, very little utility. The only Molotov left is on this B site, which is exactly where VP are heading. Mattis could have the key piece of util that wins the round here.
He's in a position where he's going to want to have the gun in hand, but he's got util out now, and Flit has walked all the way up short. Mattis gets that M4 out and does deliver one with it. Needs more, though, from the rest of his team, and he gets it this time. And Hunter and Heavy God striking and holding for G2, and nothing in that one for VP. So a early response from the CT side.
I mean, it's the perfect setup for G2. The Molly doesn't hold anyone at bay, but it allows G2 to have really a singular focus here. Because they dropped the Molly on Monster, everyone can turn their attention to that short play. You had the player on Pillar, close wood, and outside of Monster. You really just couldn't have had a better setup to tackle that late round approach from VP. So post timeout, great conversion from G2.
Here we go again. VP going to be mollied off at Playground, but they happy to use a smoke to douse those flames. malbs has been caught on the way out of this position once or twice. This time gets his timing right to back away. Meanwhile, there's an exchange in short water. Toro's gone down in connector.
Good stuff from Mattis. He's really having some impact for G2. Had a rough start to this game, but definitely earning some respect. In fact, all of the players on G2 very much have stepped up. It's a much more well-rounded performance. Contact play again. Up onto this A side. Malbs on the garden bed. Sunfire's under pressure. Can't make it to the bank in time. You're late for your appointment, mate.
malbs is spotted on long as well. So VP have a pretty good visualization of where G2 is at the moment. Hunter will have to retake that bank control. Might have to wait out a couple of smokes here, and Mattis coming up from connector has a big job to do. Flit is waiting for him.
Maybe not long enough.
Yeah, not long enough. He's been spotted out there in divider as well. Mattis now starting to push his way forward. We'll get one more onto Perfecto, who was low. That starts the proceedings nicely for G2. But there's just so much chaos on this site. The smoke causing a problem for Heavy God. Flit's chimed in with one as well. And Virtus.pro will take control of the round and take control of the half as well. It's 17-16. VP with their noses in front.
Yeah, Fame and Flit on those A-side afterplants have been coming up with their goods time and time again. Fame in that disrupted position. Catches some Pius off guard and then just inserts himself near the dumpster. And from there, it takes such a long time for G2 to kind of angle their way up dumpster and actually confidently kick off that retake. Did like the approach from G2. They definitely did try to pincer that in and approach that from many angles. But VP, in all of that chaos, have shown multiple times that's where they thrive. When the clock is running down, they've got too many things to consider. They're actually quite good at handling those situations because they put themselves in them time and time again.
Well, Fame's turn to play that malbs position. And he too is just going to get out of there okay. Pops a flash on his way. Try and slow G2 down. Looks like he still wants to recontest from Divider, but that Molotov will push him back. And again, it's that sort of methodical approach from G2 trying to use their utility as an exchange for map control.
It just minimize the risk. Flash comes up from the B side to try to set up Fame for an opportunity, which doesn't eventuate, so he will respectfully fall back and become I think a stool for whoever that is has joined him over on that A site. We're taking a peer into bathrooms for a moment with the sign boost, but just going to fall back into a bit more of a standard setup. Close on the sign is Fame. One on truck, one on default. Expecting G2 to go for an A site ending. You don't often see 3 on the A site committed, but actually is going to be an ending towards this B side of the map. Toro holding up the red cloth, waiting for the Bulls to come charging in, but really it's Bist on Pillar that has to deliver a Guardian-esque round here.
Well, he has delivered when the pressure has been on his shoulders. Let's see if he can do it again. Bist ready and waiting. 19 seconds on the clock. G2 will flash him out and just delete his head. Toro's turn now, and he does quite well given the circumstances, but it's not enough for 2. This grenade, though, will cause a ruckus. Hang on, does that deny the bomb plant? Does it do it in time? Is there a plant? I think they might have missed it.
They got it.
I think they missed it.
Oh, man! How many times have G2 run out of time? Flit from halfway down the court, straight through the net. It's a swish for VP to put them on that point. Just the most unlikely of candidates.
Yeah, I mean, Malbs is low, but they have 6 seconds after he dies. I think they... I don't know, did they...
But there was a smoke down, like it was just it's a chaotic situation.
I know.
You know, you have a second to make a decision and you don't know exactly where the bomb is. It's just not happening, man.
I'm not sure if maybe they accidentally cancelled it. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Hello.
Heavy God with the entry onto Toro. G2 not done just yet. He's actually back out of Monster as well, just as quick as he gets in. So this round will be a 4v5.
What's that B anchor? Flit. Going to take short control as a result. Maybe try to stack a little bit more heavily towards A late in the round. I think could be a good look for VP here. After losing that B pick, if they can just drop off Flit in the middle of the map there and lean towards A, could be a recipe for success. So I like the movements that I'm seeing from the CT side. Giving themselves the best chance of winning this round, but to find some success here, Fame's going to have to come up with the goods from the flower pot.
Boost up. Bist is waiting for it. Nice clean shot onto Hunter this time around. 3 peaks right into the line, and that doesn't really bail Fame out of trouble. He's got to do that himself, and it's not possible. So it all comes down to Perfecto once again as the anchor on this site. He has had some good moments, but this will not be one of them. Looks like we will go the distance in OT number 2 as well.
Most likely, yeah. Plant hasn't quite gone down yet, which is going to give a little bit more time for Flit to work with. But that's a dirty off angle. You saw some players play the same line with the rifle previously. Ended up getting him a freebie. I'd expect much the same here, Flit.
Well, some players is low if he misses the shot. Will be the opener Flit's looking for.
Got drop a smoke with the defuse kit on the bomb too.
Some players has gone looking.
I mean, I don't really know what Flit's up to here. Like, it's playing for exits in the last round of OT. We're padding the stats, I guess.
Yeah.
Just decided not to go for that one.
Working on that HLTV rating.
Yeah. Got to respect the grind, you know?
OT3 is looming.
That's our last day of the B stream. Send it. Let's get some bangers on the way out. Unfortunately, for one of these teams, it would be bangers on the way out of the tournament. Chance for VP to close that they didn't capitalize on last round. G2 looking to go again. Quick pacing from Mattis. Inside a connector here. A little bit more of a reserved approach from Heavy God, but if he does make some moves into short here, he's going to have some serious opposition.
Flit's in a nice spot. Toes are going to be spotted out. Heavy God down early. This could be the one that VP have been looking for.
It's just been a duel that's been going back and forth this whole game long. Flit gets the better of Heavy God this time around. Malbs, some way, somehow, does make his way to the flower pot. He's got to check out how his harvest is going. It's an aircon nowadays, though. That's a bit lame. I didn't even realize they changed that.
Pius is looking to equalize the numbers, hoping for a jump spot at Dice. It's not going to be forthcoming.
It's just going to be the contact into B late in the piece. Still a lot of utility left over here for VP. Flit throwing down the first piece of it. Still has a smoke to play with. Flash out onto the line. Torio and Flit in tandem, cleaning up that round before it even gets going for G2. They weren't even ready to kick the play off.
Yeah, this unfortunately looks like it's going to be a little bit of an anti-climax here as G2 falling flat. Flit will line them up, and that will be that. It was a long road to victory, but Virtus.pro get there in the end. They find it in double OT, 19-17, and yet again, another overtime loss for G2 on Overpass.
Made it a little bit deeper into the overtimes this time around, but disappointing nonetheless. Virtus.pro one map away from keeping themselves alive here in Chengdu with some revitalized
to try to push toward like a semi-final or a grand final appearance again. They feel like they're a long way away from that at the moment. So unless they can really turn that form around, they might just be making a pretty swift exit here from IEM Chengdu, which I think would not have been the result that anybody was really expecting from them.
No, I don't think so. So as we head into the game here, G2 in the lower bracket, one game away from elimination here at IEM Chengdu. Virtus.pro looking to continue what has been a tantalizing run of form in this tournament in particular, and wanting to eliminate what will be their second international team of superstars, or, I mean, I don't know if you'd necessarily call G2 that kind of outfit, but still a lot of talent on this team. Still an international mixed team. Here we go, Bist. All the way through second mid. Head-to-head with Heavy God. Does get head-butted by the big man himself.
Yeah, he's probably a dead man at this point, Bist.
He's just like living out his last few days in this apartment.
Yeah, G2's going to go on the hunt and have a little bit of a look to see if they can dislodge Bist, give themselves that 4-on-5 advantage. And short of a nice headshot, Bist is a dead man.
Touched the heater there and things got a little bit too hot and heavy. Cleaned up well by Mattis. Bomb picked up now by G2. Gonna go join up with Malbs, who has at least secured minimum control of half wall.
Pretty tough round to win now for VP, particularly if this hit comes into the B-bomb site. Flit's the only defender there.
Has come up with the goods a couple of times. Does have a smoke to be able to slow this one down a little bit more, as well as dualies and armor. There's the lurk isolated by Fame.
Smoke goes down. Flit turns away from the flash nicely. The dualies not connecting this time around. And so in the end, it will be business as usual for G2, straight into that B-bomb site. They get the plant, they have the numbers advantage. It's a nice position to be in on the pistol round. And a smoke in for CT spawn as well will make this retake a little more difficult to achieve for VP. Crack anyway, Fame spots the player out at pillar. Nobody else giving him even an inch at this stage. And it is ticking away a little bit too quickly from VP. You already know which way this one is going to go. So Perfecto on the way out, just going to try and pick up a kill or two to shore up a bit of that cash, but it is not heading in his direction. And G2 take a swift and comfortable pistol round.
It's a good start that is much needed after a disappointing finish on Overpass. Bist had an opportunity there, but it didn't really feel like he went into that second mid push with his whole heart. It was just kind of a little bit of a, you know, I'm going to push down here, see what's happening. Didn't really feel like he was that locked in, and Heavy God hits him with the goosh that ends up, unfortunately, kind of unraveling things for the rest of Virtus.pro from there, really.
Oh, not much of a response for VP in this round. Just a couple of flashes for Fame. But it's not even the firing squad setup here for VP, so it doesn't feel too threatening right now. 4 players stacked over towards A, I suppose, could make something happen if those flashes are decent from Fame, but it seems like we'll take a little while to get underway with this one, at least as far as VP is concerned.
I mean, Fame under the balcony with both of the flashes here, expecting a jungle wrap, which is, you know, a pretty common play you'll see from T's anti-eco. So I don't mind the approach. Unfortunately, it is going to be a dig site pressure. I don't think G2 are really decided about where they want to be ending this round by any stretch of the imagination. It very much is just them kind of pressuring, pushing around and seeing what they come up with. And look, at least one has gone the way of VP, but outside of that, it's been quite successful for G2. A nice, clean anti-eco round and a couple of plus 600s for Hunter.
Yeah, it is just a couple of flashes that go to waste. They don't even end up getting thrown. So it didn't quite work out for VP. But it's not really the biggest of concerns, as this is going to be the round where they really want to put their money into. But no helmet for Bist, Fame, or Flit. You've still got a couple of Galils, well, quite a number of Galils and a Mac 10 in play. So it's still quite a scary round actually here for VP to start things off on Inferno.
Protecting their heads. Retake setup being prepped here for G2 with the flashes, but it's just contact. I mean, it would just be a reactive flash out of Sunpius in anything. But G2 don't even make a tell as they creep through that bottom of banana smoke. You can see Virtus.pro a little bit more heavily leaning towards this A side of the map. It's just Fame on his lonesome. Double mollies will secure control of the top side of banana here. Retake utility set thrown out in reply from Fame.
Yeah, immediate response from VP. They will be able to take sandbags back.
Yeah, big rotation over here and aggression, but G2 are looking for a brawl.
Yeah, they nade open that smoke. Malbs will get the opening kill onto Fame. One of the players with no head armor goes down straight away to that Galil. Pressure on here for Flit, and he will get one and survive, which is quite solid, but numbers are just not favoring VP here, so knowing Inferno, this will probably end up being a save.
Yeah, VP just didn't quite find the timing that they were looking for. Had a little bit of a misread on what G2 were getting up to there. Did see the double mollies coming in. They just assumed that G2 would respect that half-wall smoke. G2 were definitely not in that mood at all. Especially with the pace of the Mac 10, they knew that they were going to be able to kind of storm their way into that B site. And if they hit a good enough timing, which they did, then it was just going to be free from there. Fame just gets caught in the side of that. Oh, what is that, bro?
That's art.
That's art.
I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a simpleton like that.
A bit uneducated.
Yeah. That looks like one of the promotional posters for The Conjuring or something like that.
I heard that new one's not that good.
I mean, any of them? And I'm a horror movie fan.
I don't know.
Just kind of a chopped franchise in general, to use the Zoomer lingo.
Too old for that. All right. Run it back here, VP, again with a bit of a wishy-washy bias. The party mix. Bit of everything. Faster play this time from G2. It's going to cost them a lot of HP on the entry, but that's totally fine if they get the kills that they do. 2 for 1 on the entry into the B site, and again, that should probably be the round wrapped up, but for a nice grenade from Perfecto, this fight at the lower side of Nana could have been a difference maker. Bisto will go down. And
really, he was trying to make
going.
something happen there. I'm surprised he was even going for that one, to be honest. With how good of a timing that G2 did hit. That's the second round in a row that they've just been able to hit a very sharp timing on the B side, and VP didn't even look like they were ready for that. They're used to these rounds coming down to the last 20 seconds. They're like, I don't even need to put my hands on my keyboard yet. The pace that G2 has brought into this game, I mean, stylistically, that's the kind of matchup that I was expecting here. I was expecting VP to be the slower paced team in every matchup, and G2 with the amount of talent that you do have on this team when they're feeling themselves, I was expecting them to back themselves with a little bit more pace.
Defuse kit's seen better days. And so is VP. This is an awkward start to the map. I mean, it's a rough feeling, you know. You lose the pistol. You don't win the first gun round. You don't win the second gun round, where you've kind of like forced together a couple more buys, and now you're again kind of like putting together what you can in the third gun round, but nothing really seems to be going your way. There's not been an opportunity to essentially get off the scraping the bottom of the barrel situation. So again, not a lot of money in the back pocket here for VP. And the rounds are getting away from them, so nothing feeling good. But this time they decide to take a little bit more of a proactive approach to Banana.
Don't want to let G2 get too up close and personal, because when they have, it's gone quite poorly. Bist has pulled the op out here for Virtus.pro. It's posted up for a moment on that boiler line, but we'll respect the initial utility coming in to take brackets for G2. 4 players over here. It was a 2-man setup over on this jungle side here. Fame jump spotting around over on that B side of the map hasn't been tested, so VP have no reason to rotate off of A yet.
That might be more to the good for them. As VP looking for a little bit of brackets control. Some Pius has been spotted out, and he'll be dealt with by Toro. Famas getting a bit of work done there. Mattis is down to 1 HP. This is the best looking round so far for VP, but they're still putting a lot of onus on the shoulders of Fame to just solo hold this B site and keep them comfy on A.
See Perfecto floating around towards jungle, is considering the rotation, just sitting on the off angle, but it will be G2 organizing themselves over towards this A side of the map. Perfecto caught a little bit off guard. Don't know if he's going to be flashed out of jungle side. Indeed he will, but takes one with him. Bist on the line.
Oh, what?
Don't think I can. I'm not sure if he connected there. Malbs unfortunately taking Hunter out of the equation though, and he'll be the last one to get it done. He's going to have to kill everyone in the server, including his own teammates.
Yeah, that round has gone a little pear-shaped for G2. Just a bit of an off timing. Didn't quite catch Perfecto. Then the team kill comes in, and Malbs cannot do anything with the time remaining to him. So he'll just hang on to that AK, full belt to util into the next round. Plenty of money in the back pocket, of course, for G2. They can continue to try to batter down the door, but at least Virtus.pro is now on the board.
Yeah, I mean, securing that banana control early on and then stacking 4 towards A, but not in a way where they just kind of lie in wait and hope that G2 walk into the site. You can see multiple riflers quite proactive on jungle side. You know, either G2 get that pick or it goes 1-for-1 and they feel bold enough from there having a pick on A to maybe speed things up into A, and there's still 3 players ready to receive. If not, someone's going to find some impact at some point in the round, and in that case, ends up being Perfecto. G2 wanting to tackle this problem head on, don't want to allow Virtus.pro to secure this banana control so easily.
Flit not going to be pushed away just yet. Info that there are players in banana. He's waiting for a flash and he gets it, but it has not caught VP. Or G2 even.
Feeling his oats there, punished in kind. Toro now getting active on the other side of the map, trying to make something happen for VP. You love it when the anchor on the other side of the map goes for some info in these kind of positions. 1-on-1 versus Heavy God. Oh, he was too busy staring out at the scenic view in balcony room.
They're going to stack B though. And if Heavy God doesn't walk out A, they might go B.
I think Heavy God, I mean, he was the money man here and he's seen nothing in the A side. There's no reason for G2 not to just pivot back there. Even if they are going to dump some util on in here, they should never commit to this.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to occur. So good call from G2. Couple of, well, A nice timing goes their way in that round.
That's unfortunate for Toro. I think he made the correct move in that round. Like, if he just wins that duel onto Heavy God, it's very likely that G2 do commit to B into a 3-stack, and that could have been a round for VP. So, right decision, wrong timing.
Sometimes that's just how it be.
Bulbs wanting to keep this one expensive. Fame from up high. Does have the high ground. Something, you know... I hate you. However that movie goes. Might not be a Conjuring fan, but surely you're a Star Wars fan, Jordan. You're a bit of a nerd.
I've watched them.
I've watched them. Nice, man. You've done the bare minimum as usual.
That's about all I can say for the more recent iterations.
You're one of those guys, huh?
I mean, I'm not really. Like, I'm not that guy, you know what I mean? But I just don't vibe with them.
Yeah.
I'm not out here screaming about it. The Andor series was really good.
I haven't seen it yet.
I thought that was fantastic, actually. That's probably the best Star Wars I've ever watched. But apart from that, anything from Disney onwards has not really tickled my pickle, so to speak.
Yeah, look. But you don't really have many problems in that department, so don't assume that you're too worried about it right now. Well, does seem like VP wanting to see if they can find a little bit of a tickle over towards this B side. Fame sending it down. He's being a little bit too much. And G2 are feeling uncomfortable as a result. Hunter, though, has slipped through the smoke. Could this be the timing that he's looking for? No, Fame is aware of him. 3 for Fame. It's a lockdown in Banana.
Yeah, that's the kind of round that they need to get back on the horse. Hopefully it's not a Trojan horse. But yeah, they needed something to really get going here in this second map. It hasn't really felt like there's been much of a conversation at all to be said for VP. It's just been G2 kind of dictating everything. But 5 players alive, you know, build the money up a little bit, start to get some confidence maybe. 4 players, you'll take it.
Ace for Fame. Well done, son. Self-sufficiently picking up a round for Virtus.pro. When this man is on his game, it's just something to behold. Pure star power in the rifling role. Saw it from the initial game versus Vitality, a big 30. Not on every single time, but when he is, oh man,
yeah,
red hot.
Or can that turn into something a little bit more for VP, or is it going to be a one-round wonder? Let's find out. Another contest coming through again. That is a bit of a more forward position for Bist that hasn't been seen too often by G2 in this matchup. So he gets his one. The winds of change in effect here.
VP happy with that man advantage. They were considering some aggression towards sandbags, but it's no longer necessary. G2. Enough utility to maybe take a tiny bit more map control, but they're going to need the rest of it probably for the execute. Feeling like they need to interact with brackets a little bit more as we head into the later portions of this round, but you can see that Virtus.pro just continue to dump utility in these choke points and slow G2 down.
Yeah, there's another piece of util, just a bit of a tickle onto Heavy God and some Pious. Bist is backing it up. So G2 will be given brackets control. 45 on the clock. They've still got quite a lot of time to move and shake with, but they're just not being given any fights by VP at all. And Perfecto's probably heard some of these footsteps.
I mean, he's allowed Heavy God to cross here. This is a localized 4-on-2 that could favor G2. H8 from the CT side going into the Moto smoke. Heavy God under pressure now. Good movements from Perfecto to isolate that first kill.
Yeah, it was getting scary for a moment, wasn't it? But Perfecto finds the timing nicely, and Bist can just lock in on this line. Misses the shot on the player down on the low ground. Toro has a bit of a difficulty getting the player up above as well, and so it's all really Perfecto trying to hold on to this side at the moment, but Bist gets a second chance with the AWP onto some Pious, and VP, although it's a little bit touch and go, do get through the round pretty comfortably.
Some Pious didn't check in the closet there. It was just Bist posted up in his bedroom as he tries to get a little bit more comfortable inside the A site. Unexpected. VP, good recovery. I mean, G2 had a fantastic start to this game with some great timings towards that P site. Built themselves up an economy that it was going to take a while for the Polar Bears to chew through, but they've done it.
Hunter going to go for the hero AK in this round. G2 still want to have a bit of a crack. They've got armor on 4 players, but no util at all. This is going to have to be a contact play. Bist very nearly gives them that opening. Perfecto will drop an incend on a nice timing to keep Hunter at bay.
Hunter going to discover some of that star power in the family name. Had a big round for himself and put G2 on his back. Missed opportunity from Bist. Second sitter that he hasn't been able to convert.
Yeah, but hasn't allowed them up jungle side, so still pretty comfortable on this A site for the moment.
No util here for G2. It's a singular focus. Hit your shots. Matters. Playing with fire. Perfecto goes down early. That is potentially going to be some problems for Virtus.pro. Flick going to steady the ship for now. Hunter sees the smoke. Takes us an invitation to storm on into the site. And Toro goes down as well. VP, where has that round gone, man?
That's horrible. That was not good at all.
You can't give Hunter that many chances. He's been missed with the AWP twice in that round, and every single time you give him a couple more steps into that A site, and eventually you're going to let him far too close for comfort.
I mean, maybe we'll see on a replay here, but I think Perfecto was like turning from a flash as well. Like Flit, I think, threw a flash into Arch there that like hit the wall and didn't quite bounce all the way out, and so that was when Perfecto sort of like turned as the swing came through, and it just fell apart from there. Just not good. And that'll be a really tilting round for VP, because they would have felt that they were getting back into the conversation for this half, but immediately they just give that control back over to G2 in a round which they should never have lost.
I mean, economically, they're still fine, but...
Let's have a look here. See that? That should have gone deeper, that flash, but it's bounced off of the steps. So Perfecto's not going to be happy about that.
I mean, in terms of the mechanics, you can see his crosshair doesn't move at all, but your eyes are on that flash right when you get peaked.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Yeah, that would be a bit tilting if you're Perfecto for sure.
Just little moments make a big difference.
Oh my god, Virtus.pro, is this the same team that I'm used to seeing? Beast covering Hunter well there. Perfecto's made his way all the way down middle, but this is where G2 are starting to step into the limelight. Both of these players were straight down middle, punished early, which pushed us into a weird situation. Virtus.pro, they are scrambling to get back to A. They're just going to try to stack this A side and hope for the best, but look, it's still a minute 20 to work with. G2, they can really take their time with this one.
I imagine they will be. Might be VP that's going to continue to try to push the issue in this round. Toro, again, will be that one that tries to activate this time.
I mean,
loses the fight to the player in bedroom.
This time he did check the balcony at the correct timing, but really cannot get a break, unfortunately, for the young man.
Yeah, VP just not looking quite so comfortable here on Inferno. Being undone in multiple facets. Flit will catch a timing here onto Heavy God, but that's not going to help him win the round.
But it is some good info. I think seeing Heavy God there... Oh, hold on, wait. He knows that that is the money man opening up the A site. Should be well aware that the rest of G2 will probably make their way over here. Flit could go massive for Virtus.pro here.
He's got to be so patient, though. He needs two here at least. He'll line one up, but not quite land the frag that he needs. And so Fame, even despite the fact that he has crossed back over to the A bomb site, will be ineffective. You could see the dream, you could see the idea coming together, but the execution wasn't there.
You gotta respect it. Just a little bit too much pressure at that point in the round. Look, the aggression starts well for Virtus.pro, but it's immediately when G2 find both of those kills in middle, that's when things very much start to spiral. And G2, despite their faults here and there in this series, have been quite good at punishing the early to mid-round aggression from Virtus.pro, and that's another great example of it. 7-3, hell of a T-side from G2. This map pick going excellent for them.
Yeah, really need these last two rounds, VP. We're going to try and get it through a banana. Hunter down early, and Biss grabs himself another one. So VP have the advantage to start things off. Haven't spotted Flit close up here. That USP is all he has to work with. Can't get a reload off. Doesn't need one. Perfecto's there to cover it.
And now Flit, eyes on the bomb. Gonna work his way through the small pit. Heavy God, deep up dig. Trying to dig G2 out of a bad situation. Shoveling as hard as he can, but it's not really going to make too much of a difference if Sunpius is caught picking up the bomb. He's made his way around the corner. Toro under pressure now. Oh dear.
And Flit still hasn't had the chance to reload his gun by the looks of things. So he is working with this USP, which doesn't really fill me with a whole lot of confidence. Yes, he's going to get some space, but he doesn't have the punching power to get an easy kill here. And now that Molotov will unsettle him. He has gone on a massive journey around the map, trying to be stealthy, all for it to become irrelevant. And now we're just into a straight on 2-on-2 smoke up to allow the progression into the side to try to isolate that fight onto some Pius, but they go through it instead, and G2 get another one. VP in a shambles right now.
There's too much trigger discipline. There's too much of a good thing there for Flit. Multiple rounds in a row. Trying to really be the hero in a situation where, especially in a 4-on-2, one is not really needed. going to be kicking yourself as Virtus.pro here. A couple of rounds that you felt like should have gone your way. Biz disconnecting a couple of shots, but nothing is really following that up at the moment. G2 very much in a commanding position on this T side. This is the game that you would probably be expecting from a team that has even won an event, multiple finals this year, versus struggling Virtus.pro with a couple of new players.
100%. Yeah, this is a little bit more like it from G2. They're looking pretty methodical. Don't know where VP go from here. I mean, they obviously would love to get this fourth. But T-side, going to be a tough ask to grab 8 or 9 there. Some Pious to secure that 9th for G2 will just allow the escape at brackets, but G2's fine with that as they'll be able to work into that position, take some map control. Bist does catch Heavy God trying to lurk up in carpets, and there's a crunch back from VP into middle, which is going to be problematic. In fact, actually for VP. Hunter and Mal's find a killer piece, and now we're back to a 2-on-3 with a potential 2-on-1 on that B bomb site, though. Quick rotate coming through from Toro.
No way to flush Fame out of the new box here. Flash being prepped on the rotation, but won't be needed just yet. Smoke onto spawn side.
Ooh. Just missed the balcony. It's not going to be a big concern, though. Hunter's still going to be able to cross. But Fame not moving a muscle, waiting for exactly that. And he'll be very happy with the result. 8-4. It's going to work out pretty nicely for G2 anyway. So second half, it'll be a difficult one for VP. We'll be back in just a second to see how it plays out.
Crazy.
8-4 the score, and a little bit of a recovery from VP at the back end does make it a little bit more doable in this second half, but it is looking like it's all the way of G2 at the moment on Inferno, which would send us very much in the direction of Dust2. We'll see if the narrative changes at all now that VP is on that T side. It's a fast attempt on the pistol from G2, straight down Banana, and there is nothing that Flit will have to say about that.
I mean, he couldn't see a damn thing. Heavy God continue to apply the press, scurrying away. VP into second mid. They've got a couple of players through Carps here. Hunter trying to catch them on the cross, but the smoke will obscure his vision. Still more movements for G2. They're trying to catch them in every twist and turn, but more smokes deployed by VP just to secure minimum control into the site.
Yeah, that molly keeping them at bay on short, and there's another one. So a lot of util here from VP, and that might have been the saving grace for them. They actually will get a plan here on A, 4v5, which is not too bad. Now Fame going to try and stand to deliver. Glock in hand. Oh, so good! Fame and Toro get 3. And of course, it's Perfecto with that assisting flash that really is the MVP. Now it's down to just Heavy God and Hunter to try to come in and claim this 2-on-4. Hunter's been given a bit of room to creep his way up on toward that bomb site, but feels a little bit too far gone at this stage. No connections from the USP, and Perfecto will claim his reward for a nice flash earlier in the round. VP take the pistol.
3 sets of utility. Perfecto is like the bloody quarterback that sends that all the way into the end zone. What a flash, man. Incredible. All 3 of these players on dig side caught full white. Gorgeous.
And that's why we call it Diggity, because it's no giggity.
Bro, scatting on ESL CS.
Skibbity.
Skibbity Riz.
Skibbity pop.
That's so Sigma from you, man.
Thanks. Pause by from G2. Flash here again to send Malbs down Inferno, down Banana.
Yeah, I mean, I think of anyone who's a Skibbity Alpha chat, it's definitely Malbs.
Oh, what about Heavy God? Just
yeah.
himself a duel onto Toro, and Famer also feeling a bit, unimpressed with the proceedings so far.
Don't want to be losing to the Force buyer.
No, that would be grim.
Taking a lot of licks out of these G2 players, but yet to secure a kill just yet. Still plenty of util on offer here, and a lot of space and carpets and brackets. Most of that given to them because Mattis is quite happy to just keep jiggling away on top of B and drop the smoke when it's needed. Here's some aggression over on jungle side from G2.
Yeah, they're going to try and take that space back. Perfecto waiting for it, and he does have a couple of members to back him up, but this could get real messy real fast. Perfecto going to go around the corner here into a couple of 5-7s. That doesn't end well, surely. Oh, apparently it does. He'll handle it nicely. Flit also getting Malbs in that meanwhile. There is a player still up on balcony, but Heavy God will be dispatched quickly. Perfecto starting to come online a bit on this T side.
Great flash from Biz to set him up. And Mattis, he did his job, jiggling away on top B, thinking, well, we've got a man advantage. We've got a 4-stack on this A site. Couple of 5-7s up close and personal on jungle. Surely that's enough to get it done. Unfortunately not. Good recovery from Virtus.pro yet again. Similar to the pistol, they lost that first pick over on one of the extremities, but recovered things very well from there. Some good resilience, keeping this game nice and close.
As has typically been the VP way. A lot of very, very close maps for them in the event thus far.
I mean, Fame is having another one of these games right now. 14-6 for the man. Perfecto continuing to put up just very solid numbers. Not only is he fragging, but the calling often seems to be very good for Virtus.pro. Great usage of the flashes. Timeout going to be taken here by G2, interestingly enough, going into the save. Really isn't much on offer for them, just a 5-7 and armor, so this is really probably just about riding the ship. Kind of mentioning what the overall game plan is. Mattis drops a MP9 over. Are they putting a buy together? Or is this just...
Hero MP9. New strat.
A hero MP9 and after the nerfs.
Let's wait and see.
Sure. Let's see.
Nah, it's a four. It's a force.
No, it's a half buy, like,
Well,
you know.
yeah, okay. It's not a hero MP9. That's the main takeaway. Sadly, that would have been a story.
They're just keeping the economy nice and honest. Have a little bit of a game plan going into this round. A lot of words there from Saw. I think this is just one of those situations where, look, early on in this round, you have best a simplistic game plan. Oh, flash there. Almost catches Flit.
That hurts. That's a lot of damage done.
Yeah, I mean, they were
Molly.
wanting to sacrifice a little bit of HP just to be able to catch that timing, but now they create one of their own. Malbs under pressure on sandbags. Will go down. Hunter trying to force his way through the smoke just to be able to help out his bro, but unfortunately he gets dragged down into a bad situation here. He was such a nice boy. I don't know what happened. When he used to hang out with his cousin, everything was Gucci, but nowadays, man, I don't know.
Yeah, it just happens when you fall in with the wrong crowd, you know? Just bring you down to their level, just like when I cast with you, you know? Usually I'm a professional, elite, top tier, tier 1 S tier, best in the world caster, but then they pair me with you, and it's just skibbity, riz, giggity, Omega Chad kind of conversations. Like, what's going on there?
I don't know, man.
What have you done to me?
I'm not sure. I just have a little bit of a, you know, polarizing effect.
Can't handle it.
G2. We concede another round. A little peek at Heavy God. What's he up to? Just chilling with the wine bottles. Throwing a few back because that round hasn't gone the way that G2 would have wanted. But we saw them take the timeout going into the half by. You know that they were going to subvert their expectations. I'm more interested in what the approach is going to be going into the first gun round.
Oh. That's an angle.
POV, saving your gun on Inferno. That's the first video I would be clicking on if I was looking to get a little bit excited.
That just looks like you're like in like a bad VR game. You know? And it's bugging
man,
out.
try it. It's sick. Seriously. All right. Let's get the gun round rolling for G2. They had a great T-side. Surely it should continue the good times rolling here on CT, despite the fact that this game has gotten rather close now.
Yeah, Sampias wants to take matters into his own hands and have a bit of a look down middle. This had some success on a similar angle, and that is a perfectly timed shot through the flash. Toro out of the picture early.
Malbs under pressure. Has gobbled up a couple of grenades. Looking mighty healthy at this point. Or maybe the opposite.
Unhealthy.
Yeah. That is going to refresh that half wall smoke. You can still see that Virtus.pro are harassing them, showing some interest. Sunpire's back out on the line again. Fist lucky to be alive.
Fame's going to try and walk his way out brackets through, well, not through, but past the smoke there, and it's not worked out. Heavy God all over it. First gun round going a bit pear-shaped here for VP.
Cheeky little bait setup. After the AWPer takes a shot, you're not expecting someone to be licking the wall in porch. And VP don't like how it tastes. Back to Banana now. Gonna find something a little bit sweeter for themselves. See if they can get some skin in the game. Mattis has got a molly here on B still, though. Look, it's crackable, this site.
Yeah, hey, if you get 2 clean entries on B, you've got a 3-on-3 post plan, but
Malbs is low.
easier said than done. They've got the util set that they need to actually take the site, though. They've got smoke for coffins and for CT, flash to go through there as well, molly for new box and oranges. There is a counter molly to slow things down a little bit, so rotation is coming in here. G2 have the forces on the side, and there's no entry allowed for VP, it would seem. So Flit will just look to try to take this Galil into the next round, but he is in danger of going down after time.
Yeah, Heavy God. Look at his lips at the prospect of taking this gun out of Flit's hands, but no one's going to dive into Olaf to discover what awaits. Immediate timeout from Virtus.pro. Not happy with how that round went, but to be fair, like, what more could you really have done as Toro here? The flash was nice, he just got a little unlucky. It was really kind of feigned that... I don't want to say it's a questionable move in the 4-on-5, because that is a very cheeky bait setup with showing the AWP on dig side and then just having that rifler kind of baiting that whole setup. So, look, a couple of little snags that VP do trip up on. G2, some tricks paying off. Can VP right the ship on what has been so far a pretty good T-side on Inferno?
Yeah, tense times here now for VP. They don't want to let this get too far away from them. G2 have got a nice buy. So, tough road ahead now for VP in closing this series out on Inferno. The easy yards are done.
Deep nade from Malbs. Looks like he was going to be good for a little bit of damage there, but it's actually the M4 that troubles Flit a little more. More nades dropped off behind them, so could continue to chip away as Virtus.pro as they make their way through Banana here. Up on the Carbs line as a change up for Sun Pius. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was bound to happen eventually. Flit was just copping damage in all sorts of ways going into Banana there.
It's just so rough post the timeout as well, because VP would have said, let's not get picked as we make our way through the map, but nonetheless, through no real fault of Flit's own, he just gets peppered through the smoke multiple times.
Oh, that's a big grenade as well onto Bist. Doesn't feel like VP's allowed to go anywhere on the map at the moment.
35 seconds on the clock. There's really no util left over here for G2. Still an AWP to contest, though.
It'll be a good call to go to a day. Just the two players defending there. So again, similar situation to the last round. If VP can find their entries on this site, they can still make this work. Such is the nature of Inferno.
Sunpire's first to stand up to the task. Slow wrap coming in from Fame over on jungle side, trying to sneak through this Moto smoke.
Util's going to be good. That molly burning Heavy God alive. He can't get out of it, but Sunpire still surviving. Not long enough to get past Perfecto. 2 on 3 in what will become the post plant.
Still numbers here for G2. Quick pacing. Up dig. Biss was considering taking that angle. Instead, will reposition in towards the small pit.
Off angle for Perfecto is going to have to be a big one, but you would have really thought Biss needed one there. I think this will be too much for Perfecto. This might be the clutch of the century if he gets it done. Does get the reload off, but to no avail. And the round will go the way of G2. Biss needed one. At least he needed one. If he gets one there, buys a little bit of time. Perfecto on the off angle at Graveyard gets another one, then maybe it's doable, but just doesn't quite deliver with that shot.
The round for G2. It's going to be frustration for VP at this point. Doesn't even feel like they necessarily did anything wrong there. They're just getting picked as they move through the map to some nice spamming from Malbs. Some good HE nades here and there. I mean, it's exactly what you want to do on Inferno. Even if the Ts are kind of running their defaults and taking minimum map control, you want to harass them as they make their way through the map, whether it's in, you know, a bit more of a straightforward fashion, like you're charging down mid or Banana, or going for some second mid aggression, or whether it's just kind of peppering them. And Malbs was pretty heavy on the pepper last round. That's the way I like it.
Hero AK in this one for VP. It's not started well. Toro goes down early again. He's having a rough time. Fame with the P250. Up close and personal. Oh, gets it done. Jumping up onto the railing there. The better of Heavy God.
Can hand the M4 over to somebody else, and could be a couple of rifles in the mix. I think Flit would be the best candidate because he's the only other man with armor, and Perfecto's already got a Hero AK to work with. Starting to run out of utility here as G2. There is definitely some potential in this round for VP, even though they might not have had much kind of in mind going into it. There you go. M4 handed to Flit, so 2 riflers with armor at the ready here for Virtus.pro, and there's still only 1 player on this B site here.
Still some delaying util in the hand of Malbs, though. He's got an incend and a smoke. They're going to go out in front of the smoke, and that will be to the detriment of Fame. So he's down early on in the piece, but they're able to get back into the sun. Many a time we've said, yeah, there's potential in these rounds. The last 3, it's felt like there's been a chance for VP, but they haven't converted any.
Double flank for G2. VP do have a couple of flashes to work with. They're going to burn through them as they try to aggress over on Coffin's side, but it's patience from Malbs.
One more flash for Biss, but doesn't look like it's going to get used at this stage, and Flit unable to land anything, nor Perfecto. The rifle's not doing a whole lot at all. VP get absolutely slammed in that round. Nothing going right for them on Inferno. And 11th up now for G2.
Been the much more convincing team in this game of Inferno. Their T side in particular was excellent, and once they've gotten control of the economy on this CT side, they've been coming up with the goods time and time again. Virtus.pro, first T side in a little while where they've looked a little bit lackluster, and not through, you know, the usual kind of ways that you would expect VP to falter. I don't think it's necessarily even stubbornness that's their problem. It's just some brilliance from G2, making their life very, very difficult. Man,
yeah, again, like, it's just not a single thing seems to be going right.
I mean, he is a divisive player, Flit. He does love to take those duels on overpass. It's over towards the B side of the map in that lurk role. In this case, it hasn't worked, and they're going to have to try to bail themselves out of dodge with a carpets pop here. Heavy God, though, already making their life difficult. They're getting cut to pieces, coming out of balcony.
Well, carpets pop going to be difficult at the best of times, but now that there's a railing there as well, it's really not it.
No, did get railed quite thoroughly. Virtus.pro take another timeout, but I mean, I just don't really know what to say for them, to be honest. Flit.
Think about next map.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where he wants to be that aggressive lurking presence, and you see a lot of star riflers take those exact same kind of opportunities, and when they convert them, you're like, oh my god, that was brilliant. But when you concede the opening pick like that, it's pretty easy to point and criticize, but that's just the name of the game. That's just the system that VP's trying to go for there. He's trying to make a play, it doesn't work out. They try to hit the small site, it doesn't work out. It looks like a terrible round, but I mean, maybe it is, I don't know.
Well, still got one more chance here, VP, but it's not much of a chance. 4 Galils and a Tech 9. No helmet for Hunter. See if that impacts this round at all. Some Pius quite eager for a fight.
Doesn't need to do anything special here. They will have known that VP, with no plan, are scraping together whatever they can. Could be some quicker weapons in the mix, and Tech 9 included. But it's mostly a Galil-centric buy here for Virtus.pro.
Getting that util in for bracket. They do take that part of the map, no problems at all. But it's more or less been given to them by G2. A little bit of util to try and slow them down. There's a grenade that sails over the top of Bisk's head. So VP are getting a little bit of space to work with here. Some Pius's time is being wasted.
Nice.
Fame has an entry. Now it's all on the shoulders of Hunter to try to lock this side down, and he does not spot Perfecto, who hits him with the drive-by, and that's a little bit more like it for VP, but you also think it's a little bit too little too late.
What is Perfecto getting up to in some of these smokes? Flit punishes some Pius on the exit. That can be an ult for the T side if they want access to it. I mean, that is a round of brilliance for Virtus.pro. When they hit the timing, they make it look good. When they miss the timing, it looks abysmal. Regardless, 4 more of those kind of rounds going to be needed for them to even push this into yet another OT. Fame going to close things out and earn himself an AK at the end of things there. A nice round from VP. Every time you see Perfecto in one of these smokes. Oh, we didn't get to see the replay, but unfortunate. That was just bonkers. Sees the CT smoke over there on the cold box, and he just shoves straight through it and rails old mate. It's crazy.
1 down, 4 to go. That'll be the mantra for VP.
I mean, money on Mattis, Hunter, and Sunpai. It's not looking so hot either, so it might be an easier round 22 if they win this one. Oh, man, the airstrike takes a chunk out of Perfecto and Flit.
It's just the nature of the beast on Inferno, isn't it? You try to go fast into Banana. Chances are you're going to have to sack some health for it.
Oh, man.
Dang.
They're not letting it slow them down any, though. Flit, even though he's battered and bruised, has just cracked open that B side self-sufficiently. Tora continues to get bullied. He's having a rough one, man.
Yeah, where was that a little earlier on in the half, though? I mean, look at all this util, by the way, that G2 can pick up for the retake. That's supposed to defend the bomb site, but...
No, hold on, you're not allowed that. They've locked it off.
Yeah. Is this going to be a save here from G2? Maybe.
Does that interest you any?
Doesn't look like it has. So playing the long game here, G2. But Flit is aware of that, and he's already halfway through the map on a bit of a wander to try and pick a gun or two away. I don't know that he's going to be there in time. It'll be another round for VP, though. So it gets interesting now.
I mean, G2 at least have avoided that reset round that would have been in the previous by committing to the full save. So they haven't sent too much into a round that wasn't necessarily going to go their way. Nice snappy timing taken. And this is the duality of Flit, right? We see him in other rounds just die for free. That's a round where he backs himself and hits the entry, and it's relatively easy for Virtus.pro.
Bit of a chat happening on the G2 side. How do we close this one out? Don't want to let this slip again. You know, don't want to let VP get into another OT. So that was where VP really accelerated as well on Overpass. Could have been a much, much cleaner series from G2. But something not quite clicking for them here in Chengdu.
No, but it speaks to the quality of the team that even though it doesn't feel like they're on their A game necessarily here in China, they're still a very competitive team. Even with Furia on one of the maps, with VP, who seem like they're in some pretty good form at the moment. Pius not being given any opportunity here early on by Virtus.pro. Flit up to his usual shenanigans.
Yeah, trying to continue to put that pressure on the B-bomb site. Could just walk up into sandbags on his own. He doesn't know it yet. Look at that retake util forced out by G2 early in the round, though.
It's a nice nade from malbs. Doesn't catch anyone, though. No one choosing to set up near half wall because I think VP have already decided that they want to make some moves towards bracket.
Still keeping those B players interested, though. Another smoke out. G2 feeling the pressure on B right now. And now it's Fame's turn to have a little bit of a look to take some map territory.
There's the dictate. HE blows open the smoke. Pius given an opportunity that he does connect with Fame.
malbs is now under some scrutiny. Flit not spotted just yet, and he's well aware that there's a player on the other side of this half wall. Takes the opportunity. That's a big kill from Flit. Looks to accelerate on it. He's going to get that smoke in a CT spawn. He knows that he's pushed Mattis away.
Rotation coming in from Sampire. Sets up a flash for Mattis over on Coffin's side. Catches VP. Full white. Big double up to keep G2 in this.
He can still find that kill on the player at New Box, though, and that will still be enough to get them into this side. But the fact that he has survived for so long will be such a problem. It looks like it might be all over for VP. They definitely had an opportunity in this round, but it has gone begging, and now it's on to Perfecto. 1v4. No time. It's impossible at this stage. We are going map number 3. G2 take 2. 13-9. Inferno goes their way. And VP will, they'll be shaking their heads after that one because there was definitely no shortage of opportunities. But unfortunately, again, another long and arduous series ahead here for VP.
Definitely some frustration in the player cam there from Perfecto. Throws his headset off at the end of that one. And clearly,
when they do win this, whichever one does go through, the other, of course, will be going home. So everybody locked in and ready to go as Dust2 is about to get underway. Elimination point for both G2 and Virtus.pro now. Backs against the walls, 1 life left.
G2 would be a disappointing result to go out this early on in Chengdu. Usually when they do get eliminated from these kind of tournaments, it is by very good teams. Falcons, Spirit, Furia, Mongols, to name a couple. Losing to VP might be a little bit of a newer low for G2. 1 for 1 on long to start things off, and it's a bait setup in towards Car. Pius waiting in the wings, actually pops his head up nice and early on. Only goes 1 for 1 as well. The second wave of regression off the back of the flash going decently for Hunter, but it's still just a 2-on-2.
Do you have to sort of question that a little bit for Pius, right? Could he have waited a couple of seconds longer for that flash and peeked together with his team? Would it have resulted in anything different? Or did he just have a bit of a look there to try and get some info as to whether or not VP were committing to that long take. Either way, we find ourselves in a 2-on-2. Oh, and an easy chance there for Mattis as Perfecto is caught unawares jumping up onto the site. Now it's all on Beast. His position, not a bad one to try to fight, but Mattis hits everything. And G2 underway nicely on map 3.
A little bit of wizardry from Gandalf there from Mattis. Much needed pistol round won by G2 after things are touch and go in the first 3 exchanges of this round. CT side start going well for G2, which may get the AWP in Sunpius's hands nice and early on. You can already see him. MP9 and armor purchased up in towards round 2 here. And we'll have the chance to get a bit of an eco bash on. There's no armor or force here for Virtus.pro.
And Sunpius was definitely looking for it. Wants to build up that AWP fund, but Hunter to draw first blood.
The T side was the more strugglesome of the 2 versus Vitality for VP. It felt like they started off that game very well on their CT side, but when they were trying to close the game on T side, it didn't go well.
Yeah, that's true. They kind of fell into the same formula over and over again, didn't they? They just kept going mid to B, mid to B, mid to B. And that didn't really work out for them. We obviously haven't seen that employed just yet. Do get that kill onto Malbs, so Famas in the hands of Fame. Could maybe do a little bit more damage here, but I think that'll be one of the key things that we're looking for in this map is that VP have a little bit more to show us on the T side than, you know, just defaulting back to the same thing over and over again.
G2 setting up around long. Just a high-low crossfire waiting for VP to push past the point of no return. For VP, I mean, a P2 and a Famas could at least take 1 or more, 2 more guns out of the hands of G2. That's all you can really hope for, all you can really expect for VP. No armor, and the aim punch, a little bit too much of a factor as they walk into the firing squad. Nice and clean for G2.
That's what you want. Good start to the 3rd map.
See if Sunpius is going to get the AWP out already here. Indeed he will. Straight into the mix, and if I'm looking at VP with only 4 flashes to play with in this round, he could definitely find some opportunities.
Nothing giving just yet from VP.
Yeah. Stunter on the jump spot after seeing the Xbox smoke, waiting for his timing to deploy this nade. Flash going up over the top of lowers, but nade dodged nicely by VP.
It's another one here for Sunpius just to blow open the doors. He doesn't see anything through it though. A little bit of info there for G2, but nothing to really write home about.
Molly elapses on short. VP make their next move. Flash does catch VP, but nobody playing off the back of that. G2 just really trying to unsettle them on the cross.
What?
Sunpius finding Fame. The AWP was the premium that G2 did opt to put their faith in this round, and it has come up the goods yet again.
Yeah, awkward round now for VP, down 4 on 5. So options are limited. They don't have really any map control at all. They don't have short, they don't have long. They don't have upper dark.
Gonna trust in the buddy system. Wanting to take these 2-on-1s, but G2, they're not even letting them have the opportunity to have some input into the round. It's G2 who are the aggressors in this situation, and VP are being pushed around.
Just a bit too routine from G2, really, isn't it? Very, very easy stuff. VP not testing them at all so far on Dust2. It's been 3 freebie kind of rounds. This will be the most important of those 3. That really starts to get G2's money going. But 2 saved AKs can still be a threat in the next round at least. What do you say?
I thought you would know. You're the one that's in China every year. You haven't picked up enough?
I suppose that was counter-terrorist win.
Wow. You're so fluent, man. Your Chinese is so standard.
Yeah. I have been practicing.
Huh?
I have been practicing.
Yeah. Gonna have some pistols around the AKs here. Ooh, aggression from Sampayas. Just waiting to see if anyone's going to give him an opportunity. I don't imagine he's going to stick around forever. He's pretty unsupported. Toro out long. Sampayas capitalizing on that mistake into lower dark. It's a 1-for-1 to start the round off. Long control secured for VP.
Flash goes into upper dark. Mattis can have a little bit of a look. Meanwhile, Sampayas continues to deliver with this AWP. And I mean, this will be a really, really tough map for VP if this is how it's going to continue to go. Sampayas kind of just getting away with whatever he wants. 5-1 on the early outset. Mattis even able to win that duel against Perfecto as well. This is going very swimmingly for G2. Super comfortable start to map 3.
VP need to at least just keep them honest, do something here. Win a duel or two. Sampayas falling off the line, giving Bist an opportunity that he doesn't capitalize on, and it's clean, even if maybe the decision-making wise it wasn't. Economically it will be. Timeout immediately from Virtus.pro. We have got to stop dry peeking this AWP. I mean, I know that even in the previous gun round, we didn't have many flashes. In this round, we didn't have many flashes to work with. No excuses now. We have a full buy. We're going to have all the util we could possibly need. I don't know if this frustration or meditation.
Yeah, I was just wondering the same.
In an elimination game, yeah, he's a little upset.
He looks frustrated.
In an elimination game like this, like, honestly, that's not the body language I want from my teammate.
No. The situation is affecting him. There's no doubt about that. G2, on the other hand, looking pretty locked in at the moment. They've got a job to do, and they're aware of it.
Look, some people respond well to negative motivation, though.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you give some Russian blokes a little bit of a push around, it might G them up a bit. Couple harsh words being exchanged. Oh, no. That's not how you'd want things to start for Bist. I don't think he had head armor there. He's on a donut. 0-5. First round, he's been able to get the AWP going.
I reckon the head armor probably doesn't matter. Once he's missed the shot, he's probably a dead man anyway.
Oh, double peek. But it was half-hearted. Going in with the confidence of a middle schooler, trying to ask out the first girl to prom. This really didn't commit to the bit there. It was a firm no from G2.
Sampayas will miss that shot, but the round is still largely going quite comfortably for them. Bit of a regroup from Virtus.pro into middle, which is undefended at the moment.
Oh, hold on. Have you heard of this play called mid to B?
Wait, hang on.
It's a pretty good one.
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, VP, look, they didn't have much success with it against Vitality, but this is not Vitality, Jordan. Like, think about it. Who are G2, really?
Well, Hunter, close at the doors. Won't get much done. Sampayas, though, helping out, and Heavy God has the rest on the lock. So it's all good in the end. Unlike you asking out your girlfriend to the prom.
Yeah. Unlucky, you know. Some of us just aren't Sigma Chads. You know, that wasn't the... I didn't have the right language to describe it at the time, you know, because it was about 40 years ago now. But that's how I would describe it. I mean, look, VP. Oh, man.
Rough.
This is not going to be a good memory. The coach has got to be punching whatever is in range right now. If I'm sitting in the coaching booth watching my players walk into Sampayas one at a time, I'm going to be having some firm words in the round to follow.
Could be one more. Oh, he's just fallen off the line. Now he's dead.
That's the only thing that's gone VP's way this entire game.
I mean, that's more of a mishap, really, from Sampayas, just dropping the line a little bit too soon. Flit's got a kill with a Glock on the Malbs. I don't know what to say about this round.
I mean, it could definitely go the way of Virtus.pro. Hunter's made his way over to the car. Mattis trying to catch him on the cross. Really, really well navigated there for G2. Flit will at least trade one back. There's still some potential for him. He'd need a 4K. Has got the light armor.
Well, unable to find an isolated duel, so we'll go down. Scoreline remains a clean sheet thus far for G2. Bit of an expensive round in the end, but 6-0. This is a great start for Sampayas.
I mean, it's not hard when they make it that easy. You know?
Okay, that's how that happened.
A little bit of a mid-round push.
Biss can have another crack. This time, Sampayas not on the other side, waiting for him.
On control secured yet again here for G2. They were expecting the change up to come in from VP. 9-2 for Sampayas. Mattis is having a belter of a game as well.
You can see how tentative VP are at the moment. Just moving around this map as a wolf pack. Good tickle coming through from these grenades, though. Flit is really copping a beating.
And Sampayas on the off angle towards short. Biss, finally. Good for it. Hunter to follow up, though. Still could pose a problem for VP if he goes unchecked. Will fall away. Picks up the molly. I think Biss might have even spotted him making his way back towards that B side. And I think VP, considering old reliable mid to B, they're going to throw out a progression smoke just to see if they can draw out any utility. And indeed they do. That molly that Hunter picked up off the body of Mattis now no longer a factor.
Heavy God's tucked in the corner nicely. This could still go wrong. Got that smoke down that will allow VP to get up a little bit closer, but the flashes need to land, and Heavy God is unperturbed thus far. First kill from Hunter. This could be big. Heavy God for 2. And 2 for 2 is where we find ourselves at. Sampayas waiting for that push up short. He's just so aware of Flit, which leaves Fame alone. And even when VP claim the opening kill, they might still lose this round. What does the retake look like for G2? They're going to be patient from the outset, but Fame doesn't give them the freebie. They're going to have to do this off their own back. Sampayas has a flash. It's going to be a grenade tossed in, and that'll be enough of a distraction. Fame playing left to right, and is it good night? Malbs not able to find that duel. Comes shifting out and beats Fame at his own game. Ready for that defuse. Another round for G2. 7-0. They simply cannot do anything wrong.
It's so frustrating for VP. Heavy God does just enough to keep that in the balance despite a good start. A 5-on-4, a nice sight execute. Flit was already not feeling too fantastic going into this round, so the fact that Sampayas is just waiting so long for that short lurk has really got to be bothering the man at this point. Sampayas just cannot be faulted in this game now.
Run it back. VP gonna give it another crack. Malbs will start it off nicely with a kill on Totoro.
Lurk taken out of the equation, straight through the long smoke. Didn't see in what fashion it occurred, but the result is still the same. VP under the press. Having to wait out this little bits of util here and there on short. These HEs continue to find value time and time again for G2, and Malbs, after finding that pick over on the extremity, knows that VP, especially with all of this movement in the middle of the map, may not have any presence over there, and he's done a good job clearing it out with the flash in the mid-round.
Meant to be.
I mean, this T side is looking just as woeful as against Vitality at the end of that game.
Meant to be.
Has this ever gotten them around?
Oh, Hunter is out in front of that smoke. Perfecto will be aware of it, but Hunter's won the duel anyway, and it's just... I mean, it's all over the place at the moment for VP, isn't it? Heavy God does go down, tucked in that corner. Hunter also falls, but Mattis is over towards B and still holding on. So just again, when VP feels like they might have an opening, it's another tough ask, and Flit is going to have to do something special here. Cops a lot of damage to collect that bomb. Will take the fight. No, he won't. He's jumping up and down. He's not too sure what he wants to do. It's a fake plan, and it won't work out. 8-0. G2 continue on their merry way.
And Virtus.pro may go out with a whimper here in Chengdu. They've had a really good start to the tournament. That's an unfortunate way to start that round. But they're really not putting anything together on this T side of Dust2. Had some good T sides, had some good calling at times, but this game has been woeful.
I have an idea.
No, man. No.
Okay.
It's not worked.
But it might this round.
Let's go away, please. Flash out onto the line. Fame goes down early, despite the fact that malbs takes a bit of a tickle. He's still able to make it work. Follow-up flash. Disconnecting another shot with the scout. Flick going down on the lurk. Hold on, we got a little bit of control of the A site here.
Yeah, that kill was onto malbs though, so the headshot of the scout on the low HP player, not exactly the greatest of prizes necessarily. Yes, VP are able to start to scale their way up in the cover of this smoke. There's no util to deny the plant, but Sampaius is going to be boosted up, and he will be able to get that done with the rifle instead. Wow. It seems like he's just fragging at the moment. It does not matter what gun he has in hand. He can do it with the AWP. He can do it with the rifle. G2 9-0.
Timeout for VP. They're going to need something spiritual here to make any inroads in this game. It's going to have to be like a Gandhi-esque speech coming out here. Some kind of real ancient wisdom.
Hang on, I'm feeling a little bit spiritual right now. I'm communicating with the spirits.
That's what Flea was doing before. He was meditating. He wasn't angry. He was calm.
I'm receiving communication from the spirit realm.
You are? What are they saying?
Mid to B.
No, man.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm not convinced anything's going to work at this point anyway. Screw it. Just send it at this point. Get it over with.
I think one of the big issues as well, obviously, is Bist has been trying to get these opening frags. That's a decent attempt. Timing looked good, but no connection. But he's not really had any success. It's okay. It's better than nothing.
For one, muddy the waters a little.
Where's some bias, though? You know, he's going to have an impact here sooner or later.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Just saying. They could throw a mid to B smoke right now.
They are undecided, Jordan. Let them cook. Will they even have a chance, though?
Yeah, it's G2 that's cooking.
And it's delicious. It's spicy. It's unexpected. The drop heard. There's the mid to B smoke. Hold on. Molly will keep them at bay. Flashing on Factor, but forget about all of that. It's these players on Catwalk that you have to be concerned about. Nice shot connecting for Beers, but still a man disadvantage for Virtus.pro. And they're trying to cling to anything that they can in lower dark. 50 seconds for Perfecto to put a 1 or 2 together.
I would have laughed so hard if you threw another mid to B smoke there.
We may walk through it and go mid to B. There's still time.
Where does he want to go?
He's not sure.
Well, it's given away the game that he's still in mid somewhere. So some Pius will stay locked in at the double doors.
Can we make a decision? You're just so unsure right now.
Maybe he's trying to communicate with the spirits as well. It looks like... Oh, no. I mean...
Look away.
Pull your knife out.
Look away.
Then he comes like, it's just not their day, is it?
No.
The gods have forsaken us.
Oh, man.
Well, they even did what they wanted. The gods said mid to B. They gave them mid to B. And now Virtus.pro are non-believers.
Oh, it's so sad for Perfecto. I felt like he was like a little kid with his ice cream and it just slipped straight off the cone. That's how that made me feel. It's tears for the CIS squad here. After some little bits of excitement here in China. Unfortunately, G2 is here to steal their candy.
Halloween was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I had 55 kids come to my house.
Really?
Yeah, trick-or-treaters.
I
Isn't
had
that
0.
crazy?
Sampaias is not a fan of trick-or-treaters either. He's got no treats for Perfecto.
No.
Only tricks. Just goes from bad to worse for VP, really, doesn't it?
I've just got nothing to say about them.
I am feeling like
maybe they were right on the desk.
I mean, this round, it does look good for a mid to B, though.
Sun Pius. He hasn't made a mistake the entire game. Ooh, little beauty. Look at thick fame. Let me give that a slap. He's able to trade one back.
For all the good it's going to do, Grenade will slow down their progress. It actually bounces the gun back in the direction of the B side, so there's no AWP that's going to be retrievable either. Here's a pop flash out. Heavy God does go down. Matisse is going to come across to try to fill in the side, but he's held at bay by the smoke and the molly for now, and mid needs to be picked up. This one could still go awry for G2 if Malbs gets his timing wrong, which he does. Flip chiming in. Now Hunter wants to have a look. Bomb plant going to go down. Hunter unable to deny it. Here we go. Finally, Virtus.pro. They get around.
They're in it. Incredible scenes. The entirety of the watch party in Moscow going crazy right now. They can't believe what they're watching unfold before their eyes. We saw the B. We saw the B.
Yeah.
There it was. But where was the mid? That's when Flit comes out for that key kill on the lurk. And just like that, we've completed. Oh, the mid to B. Oh, man, he just needed a bit of motivation. Yeah. He got an AWP out as well. It's like that bloody Fanatics graffiti, you know? Everyone's peeking down suicide.
3 or 4 AWPs.
Yeah. I wasn't quite to that extent.
Man, give him a spank and off he goes.
Sometimes you just need a bit of motivation. There it is.
Well, I mean, best case scenario for VP is still only the 2 rounds. Heavy God's got the AWP. He doesn't see anything. Oh, but he still takes the shot. Beast is going to go down. Heavy God is burning alive. He desperately needs a bit of assistance, and it is a long way away. Heavy God, hide. Heavy God, do what you can.
Yo, we're sending aid.
Wait, have they forgotten he's existing?
No, they haven't. They're just kicking that can down the road. I'll get to it. Don't worry, I'm going to clean my room. I swear to God, that's a nice start from Perfecto, but still not good enough. 11-1 here in Chengdu. Looking like VP are on the verge of elimination.
It's not going well for Virtus.pro here on map 3. You can see the score for yourself, 11-1. G2, well on their way to progressing deeper in IEM Chengdu.
All they just got to do is just tap it in. Sitting right there. It's a little putt. And they'll get this one done. VP, it's a long road to be able to get back into things for them. But look. Every long journey just going to take the first step. Pistol to kick things off. That was a nice little layering of the decoy and the flash. Didn't really have any impact on the round flip. Pushed away. Back in towards double doors. Perfecto not looking to try his luck. But really that's all that G2 were looking for there. They just wanted to push the CTs away. Keep the rotations and the information on us.
Ooh.
Ooh, flash.
Yeah. Quick one out there as well. Completely patch Fame and Mattis.
It's been headbutted by the T and it's full wide at him. That is just a metaphor for this entire game for VP. And it's painful, man.
Every possible thing that could go wrong for VP has gone wrong here on Dust2. Maybe that's the strat. Maybe that's been planned, practiced by G2. They've worked on it.
Been playing some pickup soccer in between the games, working on their headers.
Oh, Heavy God. Disrupts anything happening in mid as well. I mean, it just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? 12-1. Second half pistol going the way of G2. It's looking like this one will be wrapped up pretty quick.
There's somebody that's tuning into this game after not watching any of VP this tournament and gone, yeah, it seems right. 12-1 for G2.
Yeah, we had such high hopes for VP, didn't we? Especially after map 1, hard-fought victory, but...
They've earned that respect with some of their performances in this event. Unfortunately, it's not the way they would have wanted to end their campaign. I think any thoughts of just how well this had been going early on has left a little bit soured on the way out.
Well, Bist is certainly not leaving much up to the imagination with this scout through the mid doors. No connections though. And a molly to try to push those players off short, but malbs goes alone and without any backup actually goes down there, gives up the Galil. His molly will catch Flit as he tries to exit though.
Bist waiting for Mattis to make a mistake here. If he's able to hit him with the tag, Perfecto can clean up the rest of the leftovers with the dig. Smoke deployed to the cross, but G2 not in a rush, plenty of time. Mattis may get his mark here. Patience is a virtue for him.
Oh, he just timed him absolutely perfecto.
Wow. I didn't know that you're clever like that.
I know, I mean, I'm pretty good with my wordplay. Like, I kind of come up with these before the game. I had that one written down.
Yeah, I can see that one in your notebook there.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, this guy is the best. I can't... You came up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just use it. I don't think we've said that one yet. Nice shot.
It's fine. Heavy Goat?
Heavy Goat is absolutely battering them. That one, I don't know if I would have done. That's a weird one to be on your notebook there.
Well, this is looking like it's well and truly done as Bist, the new addition to Virtus.pro, is going to have to try to lock things in, and it's just not going to be possible. Heavy God will shut it down, and it's an anti-climax as far as a map 3 is concerned. 13-1. G2 send Virtus.pro out of IEM Chengdu with nothing more than a whimper.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like Sichuan hot pot in Chengdu for Virtus.pro. It was so delicious initially, but it's definitely burning them on the way out. G2, however, they've got some prospects to consider.